Yeah, so where did we leave off? Oh yeah, roll for initiative!
Oh, roll for initiative? Are we doing this?
Opened the magical wall and there was some damn thing.
I need a better microphone. Tell chat I need a better microphone.
Tell chat, that mythical
chat.
entity.
Hey chat. How do I remember what my initiative? Oh, +1 to my initiative. Are we rolling?
I'm already recording. Yeah. I want you to roll for the initiative.
I didn't realize
Huzzah.
Okay.
As soon as I said roll for initiative.
I do have a +1 to initiative. Okay, there it is. All right. And it's a D20.
Nat 20, baby.
No
Let's go.
shot.
That is such a good start. Oh,
15 for me.
I'm ready to play.
Okay, so let's see. So Thera was 20.
Is our little cleric, or not cleric, boy, a little monastery man?
Mordrus will be in the initiative, yeah. Carl was a 15?
Correct.
What was Kelemvor?
6 + 3 is 9.
And
Oh, look at you. Knowing math and stuff.
With a 9. Let me roll for the others. No shot! Mordrus is a dirty 20. All right, so were you a nat 20, Steph?
Yeah, nat 20.
So you're
+1.
21? Okay, so
yeah.
Let me roll for my Zambonis. Ooh.
I didn't realize we were fighting Zambonis. This changes everything.
Fireball.
Right?
I don't have Fireball yet. I have Firebolt.
Oh, okay. So one rolled
Magic
great and two rolled
missile.
bad. So
I do have Catapult now, which I'm excited about.
Can you catapult me? No, it's only like a 10 pound.
No, it's 1 to 5 pounds right now. But I get used to me telling you all the time that I'm going to catapult people, Ryan. I'll just be like, is there anything I can throw in this room?
Okay, let's do this then. So first up in the initiative is Miss Thera.
I almost don't want to be first. I'm scared.
Oh, look at that.
I was thinking about this today because I was like, ooh, look at me. I'm a gradient. Love that.
I thought you'd prefer that. Something that sets you apart because you're not a basic bee, you know.
I'm not a basic bee. That is true.
You're not like the rest of these people here, right?
Exactly.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Get it.
All right,
Okay,
Thera, what you gonna do, girl?
Is there possibility to disguise myself and look like a zombie and be like, I'm with you guys? I'm kidding. I was totally joking. Okay, so I'm trying to think. Okay, let me see. If I cast, I gotta remember okay, chat, I'm new at this. I think I'm gonna do a firebolt, I guess, towards one of the ones in the back. I'm not really, the left one in the back.
Now, before you do that, are you gonna stay right here? Right now, you're right behind Kelemvor.
Good question.
Excellent question.
I would argue
I'm going to hit you
with a firebolt. You could probably hit the one in the back left or the one in the back right, or you could take a step back if you wanted to keep distance.
Yeah, put me a step back.
All right, so we'll move you here.
Okay, and then I'm gonna shoot at the one in the back left.
This one here.
Yes, a firebolt.
Okay.
And I have a plus. So I roll a d20 for that? I'm so sorry. I have to learn this.
So yeah, read your.
What is?
So you're going to be rolling against his armor class. Okay, so you're going to roll a d20 and add 4 to it, I believe.
Okay.
Is your spell?
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a cantrip. 17 plus 4.
Well, that's definitely going to hit. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep, that'll hit.
1d10. Come on, baby. I got a 1. Are you kidding me? This is my luck. Take your 1 hit point.
Okay, so 1 point of damage to our Zamboni friend there.
That hurts. It hurts. But yeah.
All right, so yeah, you take a step back. They're, moaning. They're now on high alert and trying to close in on you guys. You take a step back, sort of reactively as a spellcaster, whip up a fireball, whoosh, throw it out, and it manages to sort of dodge a little bit, get a little bit singed. It's now even more infuriated by what has just happened. You do have more movement.
The wiry hairs sticking off its head.
You do have more movement. You've only moved 5 feet, so if you wanted to do any more movement, duck behind a sarcophagus, stuff like that, you're welcome to do that at this point too.
Yeah, maybe duck behind the sarcophagus behind Morty or whatever his name is.
Behind Mordrus here. Boom.
Mordrus.
How's that? Is that good? Okay.
Morty.
Yes. Yes.
Yep. Okay. Cool. And your turn there.
Yes.
Okie dokie. So that is going to bring us over to Mordrus next in the initiative. So what he's going to do is sort of he's kind of shocked, like he didn't, obviously wasn't expecting this to happen. You see him quickly shove a different kind of a powdery substance into his incenser, and he gives it a quick shake and rattle, and this soft glow of radiant dust, kind of a fog, comes out of the incenser. He takes a step forward here to be, right next to the other gentleman here, and in a radius around him, this the whole 5-foot radius around him, this fog kind of covers it, and it's going to apply. I'm doing my rolls. Okay, so since it's radiant damage against an undead, it's going to take double damage to that. It is going to take 6 points of damage. The one in the front center, 6 points of damage to the radiant incense. And he's going to stay right there, sort of. He's shaking with fear a little bit, but he wants to stay right next to the other gentleman and provide support where he can. So he's going to end his turn right there, which is going to take us to our first Zamboni. So Zamboni numero uno is going to take a step forward here. He's going to reach out and take a swipe at Mr. Carl right in front of him.
Coral.
So he's going to get a 16. Does that hit?
Yes, it does.
Okay, 5 points of damage. 5 points of bludgeoning damage. Wham! You're just gonna feel the weight of his arm smack you.
His cold fist just smacks me right in the face.
Wham!
Cold and clammy.
Cold, clammy, nasty zombie, undead, stinky hand.
Hey, some people are into that. Not me, but some people.
And that is going to take us to Carl.
Coral.
Well, I would like to rage.
Excellent.
Slay queen.
Bro, is that the best you got?
And then I think I'm going to go for payback on the one that smacked me.
Okay.
Oh.
Blinded with rage, I'm going to go after the one that went after me. I roll d20 to hit, right?
Yep.
Just see if I hit? Okay.
And then whatever your modifier is for that.
All right, I rolled a 7 plus 4.
That'll hit.
Okay. And then is it 1d12 plus 2? So I need my d12. Oh my god, I rolled a 1. 1 plus 4. Sorry, 1 plus 2. 1 plus 2.
Okay, all right. 3 points of damage. So this guy is just getting barely grazed out here with these ones.
Rude.
All right, so you're... Again, this is like a pretty nimble zombie over here. Bobbing and weaving, manages to sort of see your strike coming in from that. You're using a great axe, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
The sun was in my eyes.
This down here in the Necropolis. Manages to slice across his chest and rips whatever rags were left on it and gives him a nice little scrape there. And he kind of roar in response. Just going to take us on over to Kelemvor.
Alrighty. Let's see. The one that's right in front of me is still as of yet unaffected, correct?
No. That one is sort of reeling from some radiant damage from the incenser.
Oh, right. Does the incenser, it's sort of like giving off sort of like a smoky...
It's not obscuring your vision enough to disrupt or give you a disadvantage on an attack. It's sort of like a light mist, like a perfumish sort of vibe.
Okay. I assume it is close enough, though, that if I try to move back, I'll be exposed to an opportunity attack. Is that correct?
Yes.
In that case, I think I would like to... I had sort of had readied my bow, but I'm gonna quick shift it just to my left hand, and what I'm gonna do is I want to draw my dagger, and just in a quick swipe, I want to simultaneously flash the dagger in an upward motion across his chest, and also cast Ensnaring Strike. So Ensnaring Strike casting is one bonus action, which is taken immediately upon hitting a creature with a weapon. So assuming I actually land the hit, then I will cast Ensnaring Strike, and then it will have to roll to see if it is ensnared.
All right. So roll for your dagger hit then.
Okay. Roll the 5 plus 5 is 10.
Okay. They're just wearing rags. So in terms of armor, they don't really have any. So that's gonna hit.
Okay. So then I roll for dagger damage first, and then I do Ensnaring Strike?
Yeah, so roll for your damage first, and then we'll go with the ensnare after.
1d4 plus 3 on the dagger. So that is a 4 on the d4 plus 3. That's 7.
Okay.
Nice.
So
that's 7 damage in the slash, and then I would like to simultaneously cast Ensnaring Strike.
Okay,
on
do
this
it for
zombie.
me.
Let's see here. It says, as you hit the target, grasping vines appear on it, and it makes a strength saving throw. A large or larger creature has advantage on the save. On a failed save, the target has the restrained condition until the spell ends. It's a concentration spell for 1 minute, so that's 10 turns. On a successful save, the vines shrivel away and the spell ends. If they fail the save, they're restrained, and while restrained, the target takes 1d6 piercing damage at the start of each of its turns. Attack save strength 12.
Okay. So I'll
I'm
go ahead
guessing
and
12 is the DC on
it's a
that.
strength, yeah?
Strength, correct.
All right, he rolled a 15 plus 1, so that will save.
Oh, biscuit.
No.
But I can
Not
tell you
believe
that
you've done
this particular one is looking pretty ragged. Like it can barely hold its own weight up at this point.
Okay.
So you've used your action, bonus action. Are you going to try and use any movement? Are you going to stay put? Because you've got 2 things that are within melee range of you right there.
Okay, I'll try. I'll try to move back
Okay.
a few feet.
Let me go ahead and do a couple of opportunity attacks here. One of them rolled a 17.
Oof.
The other one rolls a
Yeah,
4.
The 17 hits.
Okay, let me roll for damage.
No.
7 points of damage.
Wow. That's pretty brutal.
Worth it.
Jeez. Now that I'm clear, I think I'll move back maybe another 2 squares to kind of put some breathing room, and then kind of stow the dagger in and return to the bow for my next turn potentially. I'll think about it, but yeah, I
Okay.
think that'll end my turn there.
All right. That's going to take us to the zombie that you just took a swipe at. And I need to roll for... he tries to pursue you, and in doing so, he's still in this radiant mist around him, and it sort of seeps into the wound that you left behind, that gash on its chest. You can see the radiant energy kind of intruding there and glowing bright from within him, and he's going to snarl and fall down and collapse dead.
Oh,
Got him.
excellent.
Rest in peace. We hardly knew you. I mean, wasn't he kind of deceased before? He is a zombie.
Kinda.
Yes.
He's redeceased. Now, wait, does he do that thing where they come back with 1 hit point? Is that the undead fortitude thing?
So that if it's radiant damage that kills them,
No.
they're just done. Yeah. So that is going to take us to the next Zamboni, which is going to come ravenous, run right up into the gap here, and we're going to have him take a swipe at Mordrus. Where's my D20?
Oh, no.
Where did I put you? There you are.
Mordrus, no.
He is not going to connect. This swipe, Mordrus is going to, gods, kind of duck a little bit. And then he is going to take, 8 points of radiant damage
Oh.
in the mist there.
The Zambi.
The Zamboni is.
Oh, I thought it was Mordrus. I was like, no,
No, the Zamboni
Boy.
in the incense there.
my beautiful weird boy.
8 points of radiant damaggio. And we'll have him take one more step forward, actually, just to be there. He sort of wants to be around everybody and accessible. Okay. That's going to take us right back to the top of the initiative order, which is Thera.
Okay, so you can't tell us how many hit points the guy in the room with us has, can you? Of
No.
course you can't.
I can tell you that this one right here is still... he looks like he's kind of reeling from that radiant incense.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a sorceress burst at this mofo. I could lightning bolt him. That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
Go
Once you
Emperor Palpatine on him.
Electricity.
use
Yeah.
Unlimited
Okay,
power.
all right, let's do that. I'm gonna cast a sorceress burst
Okay.
of lightning. It's a +4 to hit. I got a 4, so that's an 8.
That's going to hit, actually.
Yeah,
Believe it or not.
queen. Oh, I
Dang.
didn't believe it,
And
to be honest.
which
with
guy?
you.
I'm sorry, which one?
That's gonna be the guy on the rug. Yeah.
Okay,
right there.
this one right here.
That guy. Yes. And so I roll a 1d8. If I
Mhm.
roll an 8, I can roll another d8.
That's correct.
Yep.
Come on,
Ooh.
baby. I rolled a 7.
Oh, so close.
Yeah.
So, you kind of squint your eyes, like you're kind of pissed. Right? This mother trucker.
Mhm.
There's a crackle in the air, and the explosion of lightning just sort of emanating suddenly from the space where the zombie is. It sort of rises, and you see electricity sort of coursing through it as it collapses onto the ground. Dead. Not undead. Dead.
Oh, but
Excellent.
I at least get to say unlimited power. No? Okay.
Yeah, you
Yes.
can say that if you want. I'm not going to stop you.
Thank you. Yeah.
That is going. Are you going to end your turn there?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Think so.
All right. That's going to take us on over to Mordrus. Kind of seeing you guys. Well, seeing you drop that one, he's feeling pretty energized. He's going to just run right up here.
jeez.
And he's going to. You see as he takes the incenser itself and swings it like a flail and just conk. Tries to conk this zombie on the noggin. And completely whiff. It's gonna go.
Well,
This is the
I
nimble
like the
one.
enthusiasm.
Yeah, this is the nimble one. He just sort of ducks underneath it. Kind of looks angrily, snarling at Mordrus. Mordrus is suddenly like, "Did I just make a mistake?" Kind of looks a little nervous now. Crop. But he's gonna end his turn right there. Actually, I lied. Before he does that, since he's within melee range of you, he's going to look at Carl and
As you would.
just do he just recites this brief incantation. You don't understand the words of it, but you feel your wound cells are just patching themselves together a little bit. Just a little bit. You get 2 hit points refunded to you.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
very nice of him.
Nice.
What a G.
And that's going to
Mordrus
end
is
his turn.
the MVP.
I like this guy.
Me too.
All right, that's going to take us over to that zombie, actually, right? And in response to Mordrus taking a swing at him, he's going to take a swipe back. That is going to connect. He's going to do... Where's my 8? Wham! So he just brings an arm, just the forearm down on Mordrus. Whack! Right on the sort of the space between his neck and shoulder. And he lets out a yelp of pain. And that's going to take us on over to Carl.
Now I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Is that cloud of radiant stuff still floating in the air?
It's still over there. Yeah. So it
Is that something that I could
here.
technically? I don't. Oh, okay. So it's a little far away. Never mind. Then I'll just.
The cloud didn't follow with him. He moved with the incenser, right?
Nope. The incense came out when he used it and is sort of
Gotcha.
expelled itself here.
All right. Well, I'm just going to swing at homeboy here, zombie boy.
Okay, Mr. Nimble Zambi.
Roll an 8 plus 4, it's 12.
Gonna hit.
I rolled a 7 plus 2, that's a 9.
Oh, that's pretty good. So you sort of seeing Mordrus get walloped by this thing sort of ignites your rage even further, and you take this gargantuan swipe at this zombie that's been able to evade almost everything that we've thrown at him at this point, and you're just going to get a nice solid slash, sort of shoulder to hip, right across this guy. And he's going to fall down to his knees for a second, pick himself back up, reeling from it. But you can see that he's barely hanging on by a thread, which is yeah. So anything else you want to do with your turn?
Yeah, I'll just end it there.
Okay, Kelemvor, what you doing?
What you gonna do
Alrighty.
with all that junk?
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do with all that junk. I'm gonna take one step to my right, just to sort of line up a nice shot between our 2 friendos here.
Yeah.
And having stowed my dagger, I'm just gonna whip out an arrow and knock it back and just try to loose this thing and try to put him down.
Do it.
Alrighty. Let's see
Did it.
here. Longbow is also plus 5 to hit. That is a natural 1.
No, I rolled a 1.
Great.
Plus 5, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Not gonna hit.
Hooray.
I'm proud of you though. You roll that 1, knock that arrow, let it fly, and your hands sort of a little shaky in the combat here. You're like, what am I doing? I gotta get myself together. Flies wide. Any bonus
What's
actions
that
you can take?
obnoxious thing they say in Baldur's Gate when you screw something? I was like, this isn't working or something like that. That's what you say to yourself.
Right.
Anything
bonus
else?
Action, Cal? Anything?
Oh, no, I think I'm just gonna stay where I'm at and my turn there.
All right, Thera, you're up. What you gonna do, girl?
Okay, this mofo gonna die. All right, is this the guy I firebolted the first time?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna try that again.
Okay.
I'm gonna get him this time. All right, so plus 4 to hit. I'm gonna get this guy. This dice has been pretty good for me. So let's see. I'm gonna speak too soon. Nope, I got an 11 plus 4,
Nice.
so 15.
Excellent. Yep, that connects.
And then a 1d10. And if I was smart, I
him.
would have kept it out. It's right here. Do I want to use this one? I'll try. Okay, wish me luck. That's a 6.
Okay. So, in your anger here, fireball of retribution, you do a quick
Firebolt.
yeah,
but
firebolt
yes.
of retribution here. You do a quick little incantation. The fire sort of forming in the palm of your hand. And you let it loose, streaks across the room, just splits this narrow gap right between Carl and Mordrus, who's like, oh, a little shocked by it as it whizzes right past his ear and makes solid contact straight in the chest of this already injured Zambi, as it sort of lets out a grunt of pain, stumbles backwards, and then falls down dead.
Got him.
Dead.
Lame.
Show me up, why
You're,
don't you?
you're all welcome, by the way. Can thank me later. Buy me a drink. There.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You can still use
Did
that
it.
map there in the thing as Discord as a reference if you need to for the space. But that has ended Combateroni, Jabroni, Pepperoni, Tony. All right, you collect yourselves. The fight's over. You're in this strange new space, and Mordrus is sort of just like in disbelief. He's like, I can't believe all this was here, all this time. Why, I've been here for nearly 2 decades, and this was under my nose all along.
Well, that's crazy.
What
What is this place?
No wonder you want to get fired from your own job.
I haven't the slightest clue. Let's poke around, shall we? Maybe there's some clues as to what this space is. And also, we should look for where these children's bodies may have gone to behind this space. Yes?
Indeed.
Not a bad idea.
Indeed.
The trail on the floor led up to the wall, right? So it's
Oh,
got to
that's
go
right, yeah.
somewhere.
That's right.
No worries, guys. I have dark vision.
As do I.
Same.
So
good for you. But
look
my dark
around-
vision's better because I'm all natural.
Oh my. So you look around this space, it's sort of this U shape that outlines the room that you had been in. And there's several things that you notice. One thing that you notice is that there are actually sort of these seeing panes of this sort of ethereal glass. It kind of has a shimmer and like a wave that's moving inside of it. But it's a one-way thing where now that you're in this U-shaped room, you can actually see into the room with the red carpet and the sarcophagi. Yes, which is what I said the first time. So it's almost like you get the sense that you it's like an observation space.
That's weird.
But on top of that, there's tables, desks, furious notes that are being had been taken, but it's all very like at this point maybe even centuries old. It's all decayed. You can't even make out much of anything except for stuff that is on much finer paper, meant to last the test of time. Beyond that, there are bodies, just centuries old, decayed bodies, bones, and it looks like a skirmish of some kind had happened here. Not bodies that just died of natural things or bodies that were deposited here, but they had fought and died in this specific room. Kelemvor, on one body in particular, there is you notice a quiver. And let me drop it into here for you.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So it's made of ivory with sort of gold trim, and there's this image of this radiant sunrise on it. And as you're inspecting it, Mordrus is going to come jogging over. Oh, gods above! That looks like it must be an artifact of Lathander, which is curious, considering this is a necropolis. Maybe the last place an acolyte of Lathander would be. Very strange.
Who's Lathander?
Well, Lathander is
He's the sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, Lathander is the god of birth, new beginnings.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I have
Sort of the
name blindness.
the opposite
It's like
of
face blindness, but it's name blindness.
I'm not too sure what that is. Perhaps you'll
Yeah,
tell
it's
me
okay.
sometime.
Well, it's an elf thing. You wouldn't understand.
Anyway, as you were saying,
What will you do with that?
well, frankly, Unless there are any objections, I plan to use it.
Gimme.
Eh?
Just kidding. You can take it.
What
Well,
are you gonna do with your car?
Considering I have very little gold to pay you since we run the Necropolis off of donations from the lower city, I would encourage you to take it as payment for services rendered thus far.
They didn't pay
Thank
you
you.
from the upper city to run this place?
Oh, no, heavens no. Upper city
Well-
citizens, they don't really want to be buried alongside lower city citizens.
So where are they buried?
I haven't the faintest idea. My best guess
That's
is they
weird.
take them up through the hidden highway and bury them out in the fields up near Julian's Keep.
That's weird.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I would others say the same.
But this room is a terrible place. What do you think happened here? Well, look at the clothes. Some of these robes, they're mixed. Some of these are acolytes of Kelemvor, others Lathander, in the same space. What do you think they were doing?
It looks like they were fighting each other, or potentially something else, I suppose.
Whatever it was, it didn't end well.
Right.
Seemingly for anyone.
They
I
all
thought
died
maybe they
here.
were having a crazy party, but yeah, yours makes more sense.
I want everybody roll a little perception check for me.
I'm wondering if it's like a
Alright.
situation where they're like trying to like resurrect the dead or something like that. We got the rebirth people, and
Maybe.
I rolled
I got a
I
natural
rolled
20.
I got a 2.
I got altogether 15.
Okay, so Kelvor and Thera, you notice sort of towards the the back of the room that's where the corridor is leading deeper, away into the necropolis. There's a body that even though it's centuries old, you can tell that the robes it was wearing were much more ornate. Like if this was a higher ranking individual in this whatever this group was, and it's clutching a rolled up piece of parchment that's managed to be pretty well preserved.
Can we tell which robe this guy is wearing between
Is
that
it
of
a cute?
Lathander,
Is
that
it a
of
cute robe? I might want to
Kelemvor?
steal it.
It's black with purple trim.
Ooh, I do like
Guessing
black.
that's
Black looks good on me.
Kelemvor?
Okay, can
Interesting.
I go get the scroll?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick it up.
All right. So you pick it up and you unravel it. Why don't you give me a religion check?
Yes, sir. Ooh, religion is not my strong suit. Wish me luck, boys. Okay.
Oh wait,
negative one.
can I? Before you do that, can I have guidance?
I rolled a one. I
You're-
think it's too late.
You rolled a one.
Never mind.
You unroll it,
Lord.
and this is like gibberish to you. Like you understand none of it. There's sketches, there's scribbles and writings, and as you're trying to decipher it, Mordrus is gonna kind of jog over and look over your shoulder at it. Gods above and below, this is a page from Seer Linmar's journal. We have about a dozen pages of his journal in my office. They're some of our most prized artifacts. Seer Linmar was one of the earliest caretakers of this necropolis. He served here just over 500 years ago. His understanding of Kelemvor is unmatched by any priest since. This is most certainly an excerpt from his journal, but none of this makes sense. He's sort of skimming over it. Linmar is recording in his notes an account of two deities, and I quote, crossing the cosmos to have a brief meeting for the purpose of understanding one another. But these two deities are Kelemvor and Lathander. Well, according to his notes here, the two deities reached out to each other across the cosmos out of curiosity, as they were both opposites and wished to know each other better. No. He says that they stretched out with their power, basically laying a bridge down and collided briefly. Why, such a meeting to the gods would probably feel harmless, but in the physical realm, it would have been catastrophic. Two deific forces of opposing natures coming into contact with one another, even if for a moment, would be explosive to say the least. And it would leave behind residual lasting power for millennia, probably. He doesn't finish his account. It trails onto the next page. Perhaps we'll find more pages if we go deeper. I fear whatever was going on here has to do with researching this moment in history. That could be extremely dangerous.
So this happened a long time ago?
Interesting.
I would
Mhm.
presume so. I mean,
Could this be the cause of the curtain?
That's what I was just
Oh.
wondering.
anything's possible, I suppose.
Well, let's keep
Well, this
looking.
tunnel
Oh,
goes
I guess,
deep,
yeah,
or
we'll
should
just-
we?
Before we move forward, there are so many bodies here. They've never been properly cared for. There's so much to do. I should read rights over them. It'll only take a few hours.
We
have
don't have that kind of time.
Acolytes that could do the rites for you, or do you need to do them personally?
What about that loser who was really rude to us? I mean, your
Hey now.
really great
Hero.
assistant. Sorry.
You mean Boral? He's not properly trained in these kinds of rites. I suppose they've been here for centuries. Another few hours wouldn't hurt. I could come back for them
Yeah.
when we're done.
Exactly. See? You get it.
Well,
He's
we
sort
could-
of like
I mean, we
cringing.
could
like,
set up camp and we could take a rest and let him do his thing if we need to.
I don't
Sounds like he
I'm
doesn't
up for
want to
whatever.
come.
Well, Mordrus, would you? I can sense that this is important to you. Would you need to do these rites in order to venture further? Would you like to venture further with us, or would you rather stay here and do the rites while we press on?
I think he's too valuable to leave him behind.
wherever
He
you
seems
go,
to know.
I certainly want to be there. I feel I should be there for whatever this is. And besides, my curiosity is rather piqued.
I agree. So, would you care to move with us now, or
Uh,
are these rites that important to you?
I'll do what you think is best. We can always, obviously, we have to come back here. We can do those rites when we come back if that works.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm used to being rather alone.
Yeah, you're good.
Understandable. Well, what do you think, Thera, Carl? Shall we press on, or shall we take a rest?
Absolutely. Oh
Might as
no.
well, yeah.
Let's
Okay.
go.
Okay. So for the next hour, you're exploring these Necropolis catacombs. You find evidence of a small community living here, studying here, performing their rites and rituals. But there are lots of books. There's libraries and offshoots as these rooms sort of wind. There's one main thoroughfare, and then the other rooms sort of branch off to the sides. You find, you end up, kind of like an hour later, you find a number of more elaborate bedrooms. Not for groups of people like some of the dormitories that you've passed, but for individuals. There are 3 here that really stand out, 2 of which are large in size, and one that is massive. The massive one is actually, unlike everything else that you've seen, it's actually well maintained. Like the bed is made. There are notes scattered around that seem much more recent, not decayed. You find remnants of meals recently eaten. But after investigating the rooms on either side of it, Mordrus makes an observation. Gods above and below, I believe this room here, I believe we're standing in Seer Linmar's sleeping chambers. We are literally in the bedroom of a saint in the Church of Kelemvor. But what's strange to me is that he's clearly not the leader of this community down here. He was, judging by the size of these rooms, the larger one there, he was probably second in command sort of figure. The larger room would have belonged to the man in charge. This is consistent with the notes we found. Like Linmar was working underneath someone, as was the priest of Lathander, who probably had the other smaller room there. We need to discover who this person was and what they were after.
Indeed.
Sounds good to me.
You also find a
Ideas.
scroll of Fireball, which is level 3 spell.
That's
Nice.
mine. Yoink.
And in your you're traveling, Mordrus sort of cringes a little bit, but doesn't protest, and you manage to find about 125 gold in all these rooms that you've been through over the course of this hour that you've been sort of
Yoink.
rummaging through.
I know. I think we'll be splitting that gold.
All right, I'll get 100. You guys can split the 25.
Hmm.
I'm so
Can I
gracious.
ask, were we following that wheelbarrow or what we assumed was the wheelbarrow mark through this, or did that
So
veer off
the
at any
oh
point?
yeah, so the wheelbarrow. I'll tell you in retrospect, the trail sort of went through that wall that you went through, and it kind of just dead ended in that room. Like
Okay.
whatever that line or trail was, it was going through, stopping there, and turning around and heading back out the way it came.
Have we seen any other bodies in any of these rooms besides that first room where it seemed the battle took place?
Most of the bodies were in that initial room, but you have come across others. But more than that, it's most of the remnants that you're finding are. It's not just like a body that died there. The other bodies that you're finding are more like they were just laid there or put there, right?
We should probably look or poke around these rooms.
Yeah, I'd just like to ask Mordrus if he has any idea who these other two guys could be. That first being the potential leader of the Lathander group, and if Linmar ever sort of mentioned anyone else working here, or if he knew of anyone else working with him, kind of thing.
Sure. As far as I know, Sir Linmar lived 500 years ago. So most of the records we have of him are very sparse indeed. Most of them are about his training, his time as a high priest in Dalamar. But largely what happened to him since his serving here, all we know is that he eventually retired and went into isolation. So I don't really know much about him after, the studies that we have of his, the notes and whatnot. But as far as priests of Lathander, I have no idea. I've very minimal knowledge at best of, Lathander and their ways. But as far as this leader, it would have to be someone who could unite two very well-known and powerful and influential priests at the time. They must be someone of, I suppose, great influence. I don't know.
Can we search the biggest of the bedrooms? Look for journals, books, notes, anything?
Most of the notes that you find here are, you find sketches. You find sketches of a bell-shaped thing and some furious, just sort of like, you get the sense that whoever was taking these notes is frustrated, like they're trying to find a breakthrough and they're just getting angry. Lots of things are crossed out, things that didn't work. And I will say that in this large bedroom, the only items of clothing that you're finding that are more recent all seem to be female.
Interesting.
There's that main thoroughfare. You've sort of come as far as you can go before the rooms on the right and left stop branching out. You've come to these collection of bedrooms, but now that main thoroughfare just culminates into a big archway and a wooden door.
Is that leading the opposite direction from where we are in the rooms, or is that where we've come to?
That's where you've come to. It's sort of the next progression, the deepest space that you've come to thus far.
Well, shall we investigate what's through here?
Well, hold on. Maybe we should knock.
Wait, would it be helpful to do an Arcana check around here before we go in? Like,
I guess, there's mystic things afoot. I don't see how that would hurt anything.
Sure, go for it. So I have you guys just outside this outside these bedrooms on the main thoroughfare here, just outside this big door.
11 plus 1.
Okay. You're not getting much other than just sort of a faint sense of a deeper pulsing power somewhere further beyond where you are now.
Well, it certainly looks like someone has been here more recently than everything that we found. So, there must be another way in, certainly other than the way in we found.
Right.
So we should certainly look for that. We'll have to find a way out eventually, but for the moment, I'm more curious about where this door leads. Can I just press my ear to the door? I just try to listen, see if I hear anything on the other side.
Sure, little perception check.
This is the 2 plus 4.
Yay!
You hear nothing.
I don't hear anything, guys.
I'm just gonna knock on the door hard as I can.
Yeah, do it.
All right, bam, bam, bam. It sort of echoes down this long, empty corridor. Just dust falls off the door, but there's no response.
Nope, no one's home. Let's go back.
Hold on a minute.
Shall we go in the door?
Nothing.
Maybe I should disguise myself like a zombie. Would that be helpful?
Oh my gosh. I mean, if we find any more zombies, maybe.
Okay, so you're saying hold off.
I would hold on.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm just gonna kick the door in.
All right.
How big is the door? Is
Ooh.
that something I could do?
He's not messing around. I'm gonna back up.
Yeah, it's a big door. It's a good 12 feet tall. But yeah, you get
Oh, so-
put your heel right on there. Wham.
It's a push or a pull.
It's a push. It swings.
Which is now.
It swings right open, and you are greeted with the sight of a room before you. There you go.
Ah.
Interesting.
So in front of you is an enormous bell. Okay, it's in like this little. There's like a little raised up, not a half wall. It's like a quarter wall, right? Stone square, and then a big housing unit for this giant bell that's just sort of suspended in the middle of the room. So it's held inside a sort of small stone structure, held aloft by a huge chain. The bell is sort of like this sickly green, once probably a bright metal bell, but has oxidized over time. In the four corners of the room, there are piles, some of them 6 to 8 feet tall, corpses that have just been thrown there with little care. Every corner of the room, discarded as refuse to gather. The bodies on the very tops of these piles look newer. Some of them even have flesh still clinging to the bones.
Ew.
There are
Ooh.
2 small stairways on each side of the bell leading to a raised platform at the far end of the room, about 5 feet higher than the rest of the room. There's a podium up there, almost like a pulpit that a priest would maybe speak from on this raised section overlooking the bell. And behind it, on the back wall, is a large stone doorway closed. And above that doorway are 3 green gems in the stone wall, sort of fixed in the stone wall above the door. Fascinating and terrifying. There's a book on that pulpit. I'm going to go investigate. He just sprints across the room.
That's not a great idea.
Gonna reach out and grab him. I want to try to reach out and grab him.
I was thinking I
Okay.
wanted to go ring the bell. Can I go ring the bell?
No,
ring the
don't
bell.
don't touch
I'm
anything.
gonna ring the bell.
For the love
Think
of
outside the
holiness
bell.
holy.
Leave the bell alone.
Can I ring the bell?
Not
Oh.
yet.
So you guys just
If
try
it's
to keep
ring the bell, you'll
everything
be the
in
first one to
check.
do it.
So as he takes off, just give me an athletics check,
An
Kelemvor.
Yes, I
athletics
absolutely was anticipating him doing this, and
Okay. Come on,
that is
baby.
a
No, not you.
10 plus 4.
Kelemvor. Yes.
Oh wait. Oh,
It's
Kelemvor, not me.
14.
Okay.
14.
Cool.
10 plus 4 is 14.
Okay, he is so excited that he slips right out of your grasp. You get a hand on
Oh,
his
no.
robe, it just slips out from underneath you as he sprints around the
Mordrus.
bell, up the stairs.
Mordrus, wait!
Right? Can I shout at him with intimidation? Can I roll for intimidation and try to just scare him or freak him out so much that he stops moving?
Give me an intimidation check and tell me what you shout.
Can I
I get him.
can I guide him?
I don't know if there's time for that. I don't know. This is all happening so quickly. I don't know. What do you?
I mean,
what do you
this
say?
is true.
Yeah.
Give me a quick intimidation check as he's running across the room.
Yeah,
I rolled a 19. I have +2 to intimidation.
Okay, what do you say?
Excellent.
I was just be like, stop with my loudest booming voice.
He stops
Goes
cold.
through this room and down the hall.
Oh, I got shivers.
Yeah,
Yes.
he sort of feels the vibration of your shout as he hears it, and stops dead in his tracks. He's right next to the bell. He kind of turns around awkwardly. He's like, sorry. I get a little excited.
Meanwhile, while they're distracted on him, I'm gonna go ring the bell.
No,
Don't you dare.
I'm gonna ring it.
If you
I'm
get
gonna
to
ring
ring
the
it,
bell.
if we have to ring it, you will be the one to ring it. I guarantee you, we will let you ring it.
I'm just gonna go ring the bell. You're not gonna stop. You're gonna have to physically stop me.
Okay, fine.
How many
I'll
hit
do
points
that.
do you have left, Steph?
I have all my hit points.
Oh, great. Okay, so you walk up to the bell, or run
Oh,
up to the
great.
bell, rather, because you're trying to,
I
beat
like the
the
way
guy.
you said, "Oh, great."
I tried to warn you. Forward first.
Let it happen.
You run up there, but there's no mechanism for ringing it. In fact, you don't even see
Aw.
a swinging arm inside of it that's supposed to hit the sides. You don't see anything in there that would collide with the side to make it ring. So you're sort of left confused.
Thanks.
Carl, give me your head.
So to be clear, she can ring the giant scary bell, but I can't go look at
No.
that book.
No, just everyone take a breath. You don't
Stop
know what is in here or what these things. That book could be cursed. Touching it alone could do unspeakable horrors. That bell could be cursed. Ringing it could kill us all. Let's all just take a beat and just
Fun in it.
We should start calling him Careful Kelemvor.
Yeah.
Ah,
Or more like
I just came up with that.
Kelemvor. I like it.
That was good,
Well,
Mordrus, but
would you feel
Or
better
overly
if
cautious.
I allowed you to accompany me to that podium there?
yes, please.
Okay.
Carl, you keep an eye on her.
So you
I would
walk
like to
up.
accompany him up to the podium.
All right,
yes.
you walk up alongside him to the podium, and there is a book indeed, rather large, pretty thick, laying there on the podium. And he takes a look at it, and he starts jumping up and down, like giddy with excitement. This is it! This is it! This is it! This is Sia Linmar's journal! Not just a page or two. It's the whole thing. There's so much there. Can I open it? I'll check to see if it's cursed.
can we
Can you
check to see if it's trapped?
cursed with your eyes, or do you have to touch it?
Well, I can try to detect with my arcane sense.
Please do, and we'll go from there.
Okay, so he's sort of
While he's doing that, can you check for traps too, Kale, before he grabs anything?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Can I scan the podium and just sort of
yeah.
maybe the walls either side to look for like holes or I don't know, anything shady?
Sure, give me a little perception check.
Okay.
While you're doing that, he's sort of
Come on, baby.
waving. He's got his hand outstretched over the book and his eyes closed.
That's
Starts
another
muttering
9
to
plus
himself.
4,
Okay.
13.
You can't see any traps of any kind here. Nothing
Okay,
that sticks
yeah,
out to
there's
you.
like a pressure plate under the book or something.
I think it's clear. May I? He gestures towards the book.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Please, by all
I feel like
yeah,
we've done
just be
enough as
careful.
much as we could.
So he starts he picks up the book. He starts thumbing through the pages, kind of rapidly, just sort of skimming each page as he goes, one after the next, after the next, after the next, and eventually he stops abruptly. Wait! This page here has a sketch of this very room, if I'm not mistaken. Look. And sure enough, it seems to be a sketch of the very room you're standing in with the bell in the center. Oh my! Oh no!
What does it say?
According to Linmar, this room is very near, adjacent, it says, to the exact location where Lathander and Kelemvor collided. He says, if I'm reading this correctly, they knew each other briefly and then swiftly withdrew from one another because their encounter created an unnatural energy that even the gods feared. They were glad to know each other, but decided to immediately disengage because their meeting was a dangerous one. Linmar says that they built the bell. I don't know who he's referring to there. He didn't build it. Someone else, rather, or some group of people did. I don't know. But the bell vibrates at a specific frequency that awakens the residual power that the gods left behind. He says it doesn't activate it, though. It just sort of agitates it. To activate it requires, apparently, a lot more effort. There's more beyond this room, I suppose. But he says the door here behind me can only be opened if the bell tolls thrice. But it says that you cannot let the dead touch it, as they will naturally desire life again and will seek out the power of the bell. He then annotates an incantation here that activates the bell. Shall I read it off?
No.
Not yet.
Oh, yes.
Let's have a moment.
Caution.
what did it
Probably
do
would
it.
advise.
Not allowing the dead to touch the bell. There are a lot of dead in this room. If that thing wakes them up, we're going to be in a lot of trouble.
I suspect
Agreed.
you may be right about that. I don't see the point in leaving an empty warning. It's probably there for a reason.
I would suspect so. So, if the incantation activates the bell, that might be the only way to ring it, considering
Right.
there's no ringer thing, right?
Ringer thing. Correct.
Apologies, I don't know the correct terminology.
Nailed it.
Um,
And
my
there's
only concern
bodies
is that
all around us, and they're
Yeah.
stacked super high.
there are a
We have
lot
to
of
ring it
bodies
3
in here.
times to open the door. This seems...
Does that mean reading the incantation 3 times?
It
Or
just
does
has
that-
it here once. I'm assuming I read it once, and the bell will begin to toll. I assume.
on its
Okay.
own. Well, who knows how long
So
that's gonna
I
go
wonder
for.
how long there'll be in between each tolling of the bell. It sounds like we're going to be in for a fight if we do this.
Agreed.
I think that's a very real possibility. I'm just surprised we haven't encountered. We've been down here over an hour now. We only found those few zombies at the very beginning, but nothing since. Isn't that
Almost like
odd?
they're standing guard. That is odd. That's very odd. I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
I get a sense of rising tension, like we're about to do something that might take us deeper, escalate things.
Yes, let's do it.
Are
Well,
you all
I
ready
mean-
for this?
I mean, maybe we should sit and rest and think about this. And
I
then
think that is
also,
an excellent idea.
And then also, do we want to worry about we just like shovel these bodies out the other door and just get rid of them?
Could I mean
There's
it
a
would take a
lot of
long
bodies.
time to move those bodies,
Yeah.
You're
but
right.
we could.
If you,
Plus, I have a new catapult spell, and I can use those bones.
Ah.
Use those bones as
Well,
Well, as long as they don't
projectiles.
come to
Yeah.
life and try to kill us.
Well, some of them may, more the ones that are more intact. But I
They're
mean, some of
fresh,
these here at
yeah.
the bottom are just piles of dust and bone, like
Unless
individual
these
bones.
are left over from the last time it was rung. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
and there's maybe
true.
it'll wake the dead down the hall from us. You know, we only saw those zombies at the very beginning. We haven't seen anything since. Well, I guess there's
True.
only
Well, the way to
are we short resting? Are we taking a little snoozy, little nap?
take a
I-
short rest would certainly be
I
a good
did
idea.
take a sizable wallop from one of those zombies. I wouldn't mind a short rest to
I-
collect myself.
Agreed. Okay,
yeah,
let's all take
I
a
took
little
bad
resty
script
poo.
as well.
And on that note,
Yeah, I think that's a great
I have to
spot
call it. Yeah.
to push pause.
Jace.
Indeed.
Okay, so where we left off, you guys had just walked into this room, and we have the picture of that in the Discord, so you can pull that up. You can see the room, the space, and the layout.
Oh yeah, spooky room.
Got spooky room here. There's a big bell in the
Yes.
middle. It's very old, and then there's piles of bones in the corners. There's like a little pulpit and a raised platform overlooking all of it. Mordrus was reading in Sierra Linmar's journal entries about the space. There was a comment about trying to keep the dead away from the bell, not letting the dead touch it, as it sort of activates this, this Lathander's deific energy to potentially, it's a life-giving energy, and so you want to keep the dead away from it because they'll be drawn to it. Beyond that, he is ready to recite the incantation that Linmar laid out in the journal to activate the bell. And that's kind of where we left off. So before we do anything, I just want to get a good idea of where are you guys at in this room as you're going to queue up this whole thing with the bell, this incantation. Where are you standing?
Tell us. Oh gosh.
Just let me know
Well, it
whereabouts.
Kayla, you were up at the podium checking for traps, right? Or
I did go up there to check the book with.
And aren't I by the
Mordrus.
bell because I tried to ring it and there's like
Yeah.
I think so.
I think I'm holding onto your like cloak. Not letting
My
you walk
cloak?
towards it. Yes, yours.
So are you going to move around the room in any specific way before he reads this off? He just asked for your permission to get
He's
started.
getting us ready for a fight. That's what he's saying. He's getting us ready for a fight.
I think
What are
I
the
Not
most
every
advantageous-
encounter is combat. It's more than
It
just
feels
combat.
like combat. Don't
this
lie
feels
to
like
me.
combat.
This feels like
It
combat.
might be
you
combat.
little-
It might be.
It might be
might-
wombat.
Maybe.
Might be.
So
I don't know. Is it best for us all to go up on the podium with Kale?
Mordrus
Well,
is
we
going
can't let him touch. If something happens, we can't let something touch the bell. So we definitely need to hold like a
Yeah.
perimeter around that.
If all dem bones get up, you're gonna need to keep them away. I'm gonna stay on the high ground for at least for now with Mordrus. Try to cover him and use the high ground for my advantage.
Mordrus is going to come down and stand directly in front of the bell. So he's like,
Oh, okay.
if you look at the map, very bottom center of the map where the entrance is, like 3 squares up directly in front of the bell is where he's now standing with the journal open, about to recite this incantation directly to the bell.
So
So
can I
I'll-
see him from
Oh,
the?
yes, good call.
He would be obscured. He'd be behind the bell from your perspective if you're standing up at the podium.
Okay, in that case, I'd maybe just nod to the other two and like keep an eye on him. Don't let anything get near him. If anything
So
goes up,
Kelemvor is going to stay up at the high ground.
I think so. Yeah, I think that'd be beneficial.
Okay.
I'll run in circles around the bell now. So maybe
like that
put me
idea.
like 2 blocks, for lack of a better term, west of the bell.
Okay. So
2 blocks west.
So
of the
basically at the
bell.
9 o'clock, but 2 squares away instead of 1.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually,
Here.
make
I
it
don't know.
3.
Where should I?
Make it
Where
3.
should I go?
Make it 3.
Where's
Maybe
Mordrus? He's up at the
they-
podium.
No, Mordrus is directly in front of the bell. So like the 6 o'clock of the bell, right next to it.
And Kale, where did you? Are you up on the podium?
Yes.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go
Maybe
up
hang
to
out
the
at the
podium
free-
as well. I think I'm
Okay.
gonna go up to the podium.
Okay.
I don't know. I just feel like these corners with all
Wait a
the
minute, wait a
bones, something's gonna happen.
Are these braziers lit?
They are lit.
Braziers.
Yes.
They are lit.
Mhm.
It's
As
like-
are the
And-
wall torches as well.
Should we spill them over before he starts reading?
It's
What advantage?
there's oil in them
Yeah.
and fire. It's lit. It's big like a giant candle. More or
Well,
less.
I mean, if these, what I'm thinking is going to happen is these bones are going to wake up and they're all going to come towards. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm thinking. So if we spill it over and make like a surface that's lit with fire, at least, I don't know.
Like in
maybe
front of
I'll just-
the piles of bones, you mean?
Correct.
Well, potentially, if we kept the wall sconces alone, left them alone.
I guess if you guys are up there, you do
braziers-
have that option. You could just spill them over.
assuming they're not like just a stone pillar that's secured to the floor. You know,
Right. Are
I don't know
they?
if it's like a freestanding.
Is it like kind of like almost like a fire pit rhino, or is it like
so do you-
pillared up or something?
yeah, so as far as you can tell, this is like like a big bronze brazier. I'll never be able to.
It's an
Brazier.
inside joke.
Yeah,
for
it's
that
a-
one, for those.
Don't see it. or hear it
brazier. Yeah, well, it's the only way we say it now. But anyways, so
Mhm.
like the big brass brazier, it's not as far as you could tell, just locked to the floor. It's just a freestanding thing. So if you wanted to drag it, move
Okay.
it, tip it, whatever, it's gonna have some heft to it though. They're big.
Sure.
You could also use that to
Maybe
dip
we.
an arrow in.
This is true. Yeah, maybe we just keep them intact for now, but use that as like a fallback. Maybe like kick it over, see if we can spill that across a couple of squares if we need to, or just
All right.
into
Well,
some enemies.
I'm in
yeah.
position. This is where I'm
Okay.
going to plant myself here.
Shall I begin?
I guess.
By all means,
All right, so
just be ready for anything.
Mordrus stands directly in front of the bell, holds the journal of Linmar in front of him. He starts to recite this incantation that's listed in the journal. Again, it's all in the original tongue. You don't quite understand what he's saying. It just sounds like gibberish. But it does clearly have like cadence and rhyme to it. And about 30 seconds pass of him reciting it, and then it's over, and he stops. Kind of looks at the bell, looks at you guys, and then you can feel some vibration in the floor under your feet.
Uh-oh.
And the bell starts to vibrate. It shifts a little, and then with a loud groan, it tips sideways, lifting
Boy.
the base of it up to the side, and it holds there for a moment. And then it plummets back down with this resounding boom. And you see the wisps of pale green light streaking through the air around you. The bell itself is glowing softly, and you notice one of the gemstones above the closed door up on the risen platform sparks to life and glows bright green. Fascinating. Do you feel that? The deific force moving through the entire room. This is remarkable. And you hear
Something.
more shakes, more vibrations. The bell is still in place as it's sort of gathering energy again for another toll. In the meantime, the vibrating throughout the room, there's like the bones on the pile start to sort of trickle and fall and roll down and kind of spill a little bit. And then out of two of these piles, you notice the bones start to like levitate a little bit, and they start to lock into place, just like a child assembling a Lego set or something. Like click, 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 click. And there's like this energy in the middle of it that it's pulling all of these bones to itself out of two of these piles, and just to form like these big skeletal monstrosities that then stand up in these piles, like something just built itself out of bones. And they sort of shamble out of the piles. And two of the other piles start to shake and rattle as well. And you see these hands, like zombie-like hands, decayed flesh, shoot up with like long nails and claws, and these hands then start to walk down the piles, and there's nothing connected to these hands. There's 4 of them, and they kind of scurry out of the piles, and
yeah.
they all regard you. And this is where we're going to need you to roll for initiative.
I knew it! You freaking liar! You're like, not always.
I didn't tell a lie. I said it's not always.
All right.
We're going to do the Borderlands D20 tonight.
Borderlands. Oh, yeah.
5 + 1, 6.
Okay. What was my...
Hold your number in your head for a minute. I'm going to get my notebook out. Start writing down initial orders. The very first thing I rolled was a 2. How about that? Just sort of the dots are where everyone's at.
Oh, I like how I'm a gradient. That's nice.
I kept it because you liked it. Okay.
I do like the gradient.
I no longer like Cleric Mordrus being down there.
Let's start highs. Is anyone between 15 and 20?
I rolled a dirty 20.
We got Thera.
Uh-huh.
Is going to be first in the initiative, followed by one of these skeletal monstrosities. 10 to 15? Anybody in there?
Womp womp.
Okay. All right. So it's gonna be okay. 5 to 10.
6.
7.
I really need another monitor.
Yes, you do.
Okay. Shall we begin? All right. First up, Thera. What are you gonna do?
Okay, let me look at what we've
Fireball.
got going on here. So we've got... I told you I had something to do with those freaking piles of skeletons. I don't... Do I have fireball? I don't think I do. I have
No,
fireball.
You have one.
Fireballs,
You have one scroll of fireball.
Ooh, I don't know. Do I want to waste a fireball on these hands? Catch these hands. Are there any objects? Wait.
There are tons of bones.
Okay, let me ask you this. Because
Mhm.
I have the spell Catapult,
Yes.
where I can choose one object weighing 1 to 5 pounds within range that isn't being worn or carried. It flies straight up in a line in a direction you choose before falling to the ground. And then if the object would strike a creature, that creature must take a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the object strikes the target and stops moving. When the object strikes something, the object... Okay, so all of this to say, can I use Catapult on one of the hands and hit the full skelly monster? Tail?
Not creatures. So it says objects, not creatures. That's the distinction. So you can't catapult a living creature.
A son of a gun. Okay. That would have been so cool.
It would have been. You can catapult like a
You're one to kill
skull or
it.
something.
What about...
But you,
do you think one of those wall sconces weighs 1 to 5 pounds?
Yes, I would say that's small enough to catapult one of those.
Oh, and then it could like send fire, right?
It would also potentially apply fire damage, yes.
Okay. So here's my question, guys. I'm going to do this catapult thing because it sounds very cool. Should I do it to one of the big guys, or should I do it to like the 2 hands in one corner?
You do you, fam.
Yeah.
That's not very helpful.
I don't know. I mean, they're all a problem. Handy boys probably don't have all that much HP in
Right.
comparison to.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it to the monster thingies. I'm gonna do it to the top left guy, Ryan.
Okay.
I'm gonna use catapult on the wall sconce next to him, I guess.
Okay, so you're going to use your catapult spell to lift that thing up in the air over his head and then drop it like a rock, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you catapult this thing at him. He's got to pass a dexterity saving throw. Let me roll for it.
And it says 12.
And he rolled a 13.
No!
Bruh.
I'm sorry. Well,
Are you
and to be
kidding
fair,
me?
he also has a dexterity modifier, so he would have been higher than that.
Son of a gun.
I'm sorry. You can come look at it.
No,
and
you're not.
lie.
You're
No,
not-
I am
Bounce off
sorry.
them, not do any damage.
So basically, it misses. So yeah, she uses a catapult spell. You see her do this the hand gesture, a little somatic, and the sconce flies off of its perch and catapults at the skeletal monstrosity, which sees it coming and kind of hulking a mass of bones, and just sort of moves to the side and manages to miss.
That's the thing about D&D. You're like, I think I got such a cool plan, and then the freaking dice.
And then the dice screw.
Yep.
Yeah.
I should have given
you know
him-
what? Here's what I will do this though. Before you move on, I'm just not thinking about this. You threw it directly at him, yeah? So he manages to move out of the way so it doesn't hit him directly. But I will say that the fire from the oil sort of splatters at his feet.
There should have been something. That was why I did it.
So let me go ahead and so he's going to take a little bit of damage to the fire itself. Not much, but a little bit.
Okay.
Is he on fire
That's
or
good.
just took damage?
Just
He's just at his toes. He's not on fire. He just took a little fire damage as he's standing in it.
I'll allow it.
All right, Thera, what you doing?
I guess I'm just gonna end my turn where I'm at.
Okay. So the skeleton that you just this just big hulking mass of bones that you just attacked is in a frenzied rage, going to start moving closer to the bell. And Carl.
Do we need to stop them from going to the bell?
Carl is now here next to him, and he's going to go ahead and take himself a little swipey swipe, or rather a slam of sorts, where he's going to raise both of his bony arms, just made of random bones that it grabbed, over its head and come bring them crashing down on Carl.
Rude.
Yeah, it is
Carl.
rather rude. Okay, so he's going to roll a plus his modifier. We've got 10 to your armor class. Is that
13 is my armor class.
okay? So in you're nimble. Well, you've got a little extra room to maneuver if he's attacking from top down because you're a little bit shorter as a dwarf. You got more time to react to it. You manage to sort of step to the side as both of those fists come crashing down, just slam into the floor where you were just standing, and it kind of regards you with this. It's pretty upset.
Loser, idiot.
Moron.
Moron.
This hand is going to come creeping up on you. You hear it? Yeah, it's just this little disembodied hand. It's just gonna leap with its put it almost like it's crawling like the fingers are its legs like a spider, and it's gonna launch itself up to try and attack you, and it is going to roll a 12. So you said your armor class is 13?
Correct.
Nada. So
Suckers.
you're over here bobbing and weaving as these creepy crawlies are trying to hound you. Gods above! So Mordrus he's just going to run up next to you, Carl. 1, 2, 5, 10, 15, and then 20. He's going to stand right next to you.
Bruh.
And for a goofball-looking dude, he seems to at least have some courage about him. He takes that incenser and swings it like a flail and kind of tries to bring it crashing down on top of this hand that took a swipe at you. Oh, and he is going to connect. Wham! Just crack. And he is going to deal.
Yeah, Mordrus.
The thing just squashed like a bug. You see some green juices kind of spit out the sides of it as it sort of rolls over onto its back, and the fingers kind of curl up just like a dead spider.
Got him.
Gross.
Don't love that, but I'm glad it's dead.
Yeah, right? At least those are easy to kill.
All right. Which is then going to take us to this skeleton now. 1, 2, 3. He's going to come right up next to the bell.
Uh-oh.
And he
No
is
pressure,
going
Kale.
he's going to reach out this bony hand and put it on the side of the bell. You can see sort of those green wisps that were flying through the air when the bell first resounded, kind of start to swirl a little bit around the arm itself as it's reaching out for the bell. And you can see the bones sort of calcify a bit. They get a little bit stronger, a little bit sturdier, and it kind of rears its head back, as it's sort of taking in the energy of this bell. Next is going to be this little creepy crawly. So he's going to go one. He's like a spider crawl up this little ledge here. He's going to come right over here. And this creepy crawly hand is going to jump up and try and, like a face hugger.
Oh, there you go.
Like a face hugger, jump right at Thera's face.
Oh no! Why?
That is a nat 20 on hit.
I hate you.
That
right
is gonna be a crit.
now. Oh.
And you're lucky. With a crit, he's gonna land 2 hit points of damage against you.
Okay.
2 points of damage.
Very lucky.
Yeah.
You sort of like pry it off your face and throw it back down on the floor. But clearly
Love
sort
that.
of reeling from that. The other one is going to come scurrying. Since it's small, I'm going to say it can't quite touch the bell from there. I'm going to make it do a full... Since it's tiny, I don't think it would make sense for it to be able to reach the bell from as far away as the skeletal monstrosity. So it's just going to come scurrying right up to the base of it with anticipation. Next, it's going to bring us to Kelemvor.
I don't like this. Okay, so what I'm thinking is we got 2 not so friendlies right at the bell, which is explicitly the thing that we are not supposed to let happen. And so with my new quiver, it says once per short rest, I can add a sunburst to any attack with a bow. I can add 2d6 of radiant damage in a 15-foot sphere around the target. I'm assuming that's a 15-foot sphere around the impact of the air where the arrow strikes.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm going to try to do is target big boy down there by the bell because he's the bigger target. And just like pull out this arrow and knock it as it sort of starts to glow with this radiant light. I think I'm going to use this sunburst ability and just try to hit this guy and blast both of them, ideally, for as much damage as possible to get them away from them.
Now, when you roll for hit, you're going to have to roll with disadvantage as you have this creepy crawly hand right in an adjacent space actively engaged with you.
It's not good.
Well, even
After
if you
I
miss,
specifically asked you not
thing
to.
still happens, right?
I think I'm just going to go for it.
Okay. All right, so roll for hit twice. Take the lowest value.
Okay.
And you're targeting the skeletal monstrosity there?
Yes, big boy. Oops. Okay, so that was a 10 on the first roll.
10 is your total?
10 was the first roll, yeah.
Okay. So that's not going to beat his armor class, and since you're rolling with disadvantage, that means you're just going to do the explosion. So let's say that the arrow sort of ching clatters at his feet. It doesn't manage to hit him, but we'll say that the sunburst effect then detonates in that area, that space that he's occupying. So go ahead and roll that damage for me, and it'll apply to both these targets. Okay,
so that's 2d6 radiant damage in a 15-foot sphere. So I'm just going to roll these 2d6. It's a 2 and a 1, so that's 3.
Okay. Well, so that radiant explosion happens, but you can see that the radiant energy itself seems to have a greater effect on this claw, this creepy crawly claw that just bursts into like radiant flames, and it doesn't have a mouth, but it seems to like have this like shriek like as it rolls over on its back and curls up its fingers and dies. The skeletal monstrosity sort of reels back, takes its hand off the bell from the explosion, and similar effect. You see this radiant fire sort of crawling up its back and legs where it detonated, and it sort of reels back and kind of roars a little bit, clearly rattled from the effect.
All right. I think that's more or less all I can really do.
Some of that calcified bone that got sturdier, it starts to show a little cracking.
Nice. Shoot, I should have used my bonus action first, but I didn't.
Did you miss a chance to Hunter's Mark?
Sure did. Yeah, I think that's more or less all I can do. That's my only bonus action right now. I think it basically is Hunter's Mark.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna just kind of stay here with Thera for the moment.
All right. It's gonna take us to Carl.
I would like to rage.
Yes.
He's so angry. You can hear it in his
So
voice.
good.
You know, I mean
You can
business.
just
All right, and then I'm going to swing on the monstrosity that's right next to me.
Okay. All right, go ahead and roll for hit for me.
So I get a +4,
Okay.
so it'll be a 15.
That's going to hit.
All right, and then
Nice.
1d12 plus 2. Let me find my d12. Okay,
just a moment.
Just a moment.
I rolled a 5 plus 2, 7.
Excellent. So you bring that. You're a great axe, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So crashing into these bones, and a couple of them just come flying off of this monstrosity that's clearly just not being held together by any like sinew or tendons or anything like that. It's more like an energy that's trying to hold them together, and some of them just go clattering to the ground around as this takes a big chunk out of this skeleton, and it kind of reels back, and it's clearly not feeling good. It's trying to keep these bones in place. Is that going to end
That
your
is my
turn?
turn.
Okay.
Yeah, and action and bonus action all together.
Yeah. So this little creepy crawly claw then is going to come right over here, try and wrap around Mordrus and try and take a swipe at him from behind. That is not going to hit. Okay, misses. And that's going to bring us back up to the top of the order at Thera.
The Thera.
Thera. You got this little creepy crawly hand that just plastered itself on your face.
Oh.
You'd pried it off and thrown it to the floor.
Okay.
Twist it. Break it.
It's not on your face anymore. You ripped it off and threw it back down.
Yeah, you chucked it down.
It's right in
Oh,
front of you
well.
on the floor right in front of you.
Why don't I do shocking grasp on it?
Why don't
there
you?
you go.
15 plus 4.
That'll hit.
Will that hit? All
That'll
right.
hit.
Let's
And then I get
go.
to do 1d8 lightning damage. Where's my d8? There it is. I got a 3.
Okay. So you just, in a fit of rage at the audacity of this creepy thing that just plastered itself on your face, you're going to reach down, just grab it hand to hand, just electrocute it. And again, it sort of like sizzles and there's some cracking and it rolls over on its back, curls up the fingers like a dead spider. Cooked.
She like
Excellent.
shudders. The thought of
Love
that thing
it.
even touching her.
Yep, it's gone. I'm just happy it's gone.
Yeah. Take that off the board.
Okay, so what is innate sorcery? Twice per long rest, you can take a bonus action to unleash the simmering magic within you for 1 minute. You can unleash magic for 1 minute, during which you gain the following benefits. The spell save DC of your sorcerer spells increases by 1, and you have advantage on the attack rolls of sorcerer spells you cast. Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
That's good
For
to know.
1 minute, is that what it says?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm not going to use it right now.
It's kind of like your own version of rage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of, yeah.
So for the record, that
I
would be
think-
10 full rounds of the
Yeah.
initiative order, because every round is 6 seconds.
Well, then I guess
Sorcerer
I'll
spell.
use it as
You
a
want to
bonus
use
action.
it now?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I get 2 of them, so yeah.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Okay. That would have helped your catapult.
It sure would have.
Well,
All right.
I need to
now we
learn
know.
this. I need to learn
We're
this.
learning. We're learning.
We're learning.
All right. That going to be the end of your turn?
Yeah.
All right. The big skeleton monstrosity that just got hacked by Carl is going to sort of try to react, and as it rights itself, it takes a swipe at him. He's going to roll a 13.
Yep, that's my armor class is 13.
Okay.
Beats it.
Okay.
So you're going to take 4 points of damage as it comes. This hand, this big bony arm comes crashing into your armor, crunches on your breastplate there. Going to bring us to Mordrus, who's going to spin around again with his little incenser and try and conk this thing on the noggin. Again, he's going to hit. Crunch.
Nice.
And damage is enough. Squishes it right underneath his incenser, but he seems like visibly pained that he had to use his nice incenser to crush such a grotesque thing. It's like picking the fingers off of it, the loose fingers off of it. Oh, disgusting!
Okay.
Disgusting creatures.
Well done, Noel.
This skeletal monstrosity right here is then with its other arm going to stretch that other arm out and grab the bell. And you can see the green wisps start to swirl around it, and more calcification as the bones start to harden and stiffen up a little bit more. And then that is going to take us to Kelemvor.
Okay, well, I'm growing ever more concerned about this skelly man that my arrow basically bounced off of. Did you say he was wearing some kind of like armor, or was it just a pile of bones? That's
Just
sort of
bones.
free?
Yeah, bones sort of just
Bone.
like pulled themselves together into this shape, more or less humanoid, but larger.
Gotcha.
It's got more bones than a human would.
Yeah, I feel like not like trying to metagame, but just like thinking about a pile of bones. I feel like bludgeoning damage might be more effective than piercing damage. Obviously, I'm farther away. I'd have to move. I don't know if I have enough movement to get to him. I have a hunting
Make him
trap.
fall in love with you.
Yeah, get it to make out with you.
Hey, buddy.
It's like I don't have a tongue, but if I did, it'd be deep down your throat right now.
No, thank you. Well, so I do have Hunter's Mark, which adds a d6 of force damage. So I think I'm first going to, having seen this arrow impact him and just kind of bounce and then explode, which was cool, but not do as much effective damage as I had hoped. Sort of gonna raise my hand and just kind of trace a small symbol in the air to mark him as my prey, and that it gives me 1d6 force damage upon a successful hit, I believe. So I am going to just knock another arrow and try again.
Okay.
That is a
Get your
19 plus
That'll
5.
hit. That'll hit.
24. Excellent.
Nice job, Katniss.
Thank you. That's a d10. It's 1d8 of damage plus 3, and then plus the d6 for force damage. So the first on the d8, I got a 4 plus 3. That's 7 damage, and then the d6 force damage is 4 force damage.
Okay.
So 7 piercing damage plus 4 force damage.
All right. So this arrow that you let loose, now that it's like had this fortification to its body, the bones have started to sort of fuse together a little bit stronger and plug the gaps. This time the arrow doesn't pass through anything. It finds some solid purchase because there's a little extra surface area there to hit. You hear this like sickening crunch as it lands right on like the sternum area of this monstrosity, and you see these cracks start to fray out from it as bits and pieces of bone just shatter and fly off of it. And you're feeling grateful that nobody's directly next to it as these bone fragments sort of fly out and splinter off in all these different directions. And it's clearly reeling from the attack.
Excellent.
Well done.
Thank you.
Fiend?
Got your ass.
Got your ass.
Yeah, that's my action and bonus action. So
Okay.
I think I might move just far enough to switch to Thera's other side. So I'm like right at the top of the stairs looking straight down. But other than that, I think I'm going to stay there.
Okay, sounds good. Carl, what you gonna do with all that junk? Raging junk inside that trunk.
I'm going to smack this stupid thing again.
Okay, do it.
Do it.
I rolled a 13 plus 4, 17. I'm assuming that's...
That's gonna hit.
Okay. 1d12 plus 2. I rolled an 11 plus 2. That'll be 13.
So, in your frenzied rage, after this thing, blasted you in the breastplate, you kind of recoil a bit, right yourself, grab that axe, and in a big furious rage, swing back
I thought you were going to say grab that ass. I really did.
Grab that ass. He grabbed that
Another
ass.
life.
We ain't judging.
What kind of damage you don't got no edge.
And
We look, but we don't judge.
and you find solid purchase on this thing. Dead center mass. Bones just fly in every different direction. It sort of shambles back, and bones are falling from the top of it. They start to fall and trickle down all the way down to the legs as it ends up just sort of crumbling down to bits in a pile of bones on the ground, and ceases to move. And you see this little wisp of almost like a soul or something kind of zip away and back out like a little crack in the room, the wall of the room.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
And then I do have a bonus action, but there's really nothing I can do. So actually, now that this one's gone, right? He's
Gone.
baited out of the... Okay, good. So then I'll just run over to kind of like opposite of Kale and Steph, and like...
This way?
I'll be like basically just south
On the south side.
Yeah, south side.
Okay,
Thank you.
5, 10, 15, 20 feet here. Do you want to keep moving or stay there?
No, I want to be right up next to that thing. that monstrosity. How much movement do I have? Hold on.
So that'd be 30 feet of movement would be here. 25 would be here.
Where do you even see movement?
Should be at the top if you're using the D&D Beyond character sheet.
Yes,
Top
30
row.
feet.
30 feet? Yeah. So you can get right next to it.
There you go.
Okay, wonderful. And that will be my turn.
Thera, that's going to bring us top of the initiative back to you.
Okay, so we've got this one guy, and I have the innate sorcery, which means my spell save DC increases by 1, and I have advantage. Okay.
Ooh.
All right. So, do they have any weaknesses, like in Baldur's Gate? You
Sure.
tell me.
Probably
They
radiant,
do.
I'm assuming.
You're not going to tell me?
I will tell you that the two things it is weak to have already been mentioned in some capacity.
I wasn't paying attention.
My theory: bludgeoning damage and radiant damage.
That's
I don't
Because
have
my radiant
either.
arrow did extra damage. which
I mean, I have
assume is
thunder.
from
Is
normally.
that bludgeoning? I'm going to do thunder. That feels
thunder
safe.
damage.
Who's resistant to thunder? Nobody.
Thor?
Thor, maybe.
One guy. One guy.
One guy.
The X-Men Storm?
2 people who aren't real.
None of these people are real either.
Well, I know
They're
it's
real to
not
me.
psychic
I
damage,
take
and
offense
it's
to that.
probably not poison. Maybe acid. I'm going to disintegrate them bones.
Perhaps.
What do you think?
We have-
I mean, I can do lightning. That worked on the hands.
This is true. Do you have anything besides shocking grasp? Do you have like a lightning?
No, I'm doing sorcerer's
like
burst.
Sorcerer's burst? Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I can do acid,
can you do-
snow, or cold, fire, lightning, poison, psychic, and thunder.
I might. I might go for thunder damage if it's not gonna
Okay. See, that's what I was
also
saying.
hit Coral.
Nobody listens to me.
I was listening. Just listening
No.
to the other options.
No, Sorcerer's
Okay.
Burst is a pretty confined
So,
detonation.
Okay.
so I get advantage, and I get +4. That's a
Light
17,
'em up.
which is pretty darn good.
That's going to hit.
And that's a nat 20. So
Well, that's
I get
pretty
advantage.
Nice. For the,
Wait, you
for
get
the damage or for the?
I
for
mean,
the
either
attack?
way, it's going to hit, right? The first one was going to hit. That's
Well-
a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I get advantage on attack.
Yeah,
rolls.
not on damage rolls. So, since you're rolling
Okay,
with advantage
so I
and
did
one
that.
of yours was a 20, and that 20, that's a critical hit.
Okay, I get
You're,
1d8, so I get to double that.
yes.
Oh, I got an 8, baby. That's 16.
Nice.
Yes! And
Now,
it says that you
Stephanie,
roll an
Roy this
8.
clown.
Yeah, so I was
Wait,
going to
wait.
say,
It
roll
says
again.
if you roll on a d8 for this spell, you can roll another d8. So I have
Correct.
6, so it's a 20. Bish!
So,
Get right!
you can.
Hands!
So, in this moment, the rage that you see in Carl's eyes suddenly looks like a candle next to the rage that you see, like a raging fire in Thera's eyes. The fact that she got grabbed in the face by this creepy crawly hand,
Like that.
she's pretty pissed about it. And she reaches out her hand, does this brief incantation, and there's just this thunderous crack that explodes from the center of this mass of bones. And this thing, it shatters fiercely. Just there's not a single bone is left intact. They all just shatter to pieces. Carl kind of turns his back, his armor kind of just gets pelted. By these bone fragments.
Should have brought goggles.
Right.
Right.
Just erupts, bone fragments flying everywhere. Mordrus is even like covering his ears, like, holy crap!
Yes.
I'm
And
gonna turn to Thera and just be like, remind me not to piss you off.
now,
Yes.
at this moment, the bell has gathered enough energy. It again is like it tips up now in the opposite direction it had the first time, and again it comes crashing down. This big resounding. The second of the 3 gemstones over the door crackles to life and starts to glow this bright green, leaving just one that has not lit up yet. The bell kind of rights itself and kind of steadies itself, but now the sort of vibrations in the room are getting a little bit heavier. These green wisps that are flying through the air pick up speed. It's like a tempest of lights around you in the room as the place really comes alive. And as it does, one of these piles of bones again is going to just have this.
No.
this
No.
I had a bad feeling about this.
sort of come alive as they start to move and shift, like something's moving underneath the bones, and eventually this figure is going to come crawling out of it, and it grabs like a loose head in the pile that seems fresher than the rest, as this like almost like a 16-inch long tongue wraps into the eye socket and kind of peels off any remnants of flesh it can find, and gobbles it down. This is what you see.
Oh gosh. No.
In the Discord.
Okay, hold on.
I just saw the butt thing. Ew, it's
Oh
horrid.
my
I don't care
gosh.
for that.
No.
Again, we need a Witcher.
We do.
I'm going to use this orange dot. So it kind of regards you, and in its ravenous fury, it sees the flesh on you, and it's going to leap out of this pile, land right up here.
Uh-oh. Don't like that.
Oh, hell no.
And it kind of puts
still
both
mad,
arms
right?
puts both arms back behind it
Oh,
and
I'm
screams
so
up into the
pissed.
sky.
Yeah.
And it's like slathering. We'll keep the same initiative order. It's joining the initiative at the top of the round here, and I must inform you that I just rolled a nat 20 for it.
Oh.
So it is going to be kicking off
I don't like that.
our initiative.
No, I get to kick off. Why does he get to kick off? That's not fair.
Yours was a dirty 20, right?
So since he's entering late,
yeah,
you just took
it
a turn.
was.
Combat has
Yeah.
technically ended.
Fine.
So he's basically gonna drop into the initiative right here, and he's going to kind of scurry over here to the closest thing he can find, which is going to be Kelemvor. The closest he doesn't seem to be like he's
Thera.
thinking critically. He's the Thera, yeah. The closest thing he can find, Thera.
I mean, that's
He's going
Me.
for the most beautiful skin. It makes sense.
true.
Yeah,
He's like,
that's
I
right.
want the hottie body. I'm not going
The
for
one
these
that
ugly
tastes
guys.
the best.
Hell yeah.
So, very first thing, Stephanie, I need you to do as he enters your
No.
space, you just
No.
get
No.
slammed with this putrid stench.
Oh,
Oh, no.
no.
Actually, no. I'm sorry. You do smell that, but you don't have to do anything with it yet.
Okay.
It'll be
Great.
at the start of your turn.
Great.
But it is going to just put both hands on whatever it can grab and just try to chomp down on the space, like your neck in between your head and your shoulders. Okay. So
Okay.
it is, I'm assuming a 16 is going to hit. What's your armor class?
I'm looking. Yeah, it hits.
Okay.
I'm gonna die. Do you want to kill me?
All right. So
Where?
that is going to then do.
He did say he was going to kill us.
He did say that. He did say that.
All right. You're going to
He
take
meant it.
5 points of damage as it just
my
chomps down into your neck.
gosh.
You can feel its teeth penetrate your skin as you holler out in pain.
Oh my gosh.
And
I'm
it
at
can-
half health.
You kind of shove it off you for a second, and it's like licking its lips as you can see some of your own blood on its face.
Ew.
In
Don't
other
like that.
circumstances, I might be into that, but not into you, my dude. Save me, boys.
Do something! At this point, Mordrus he's just going
Next
to
up.
shout out. Yeah, he's next up. Gods, it's a ghast! And he's going to start sprinting over. Let's see, 5, 10, 20. I can get him here. So he's underneath you a little bit, Steph. And
Okay.
what he's going to do is he's going to quickly, you see him shoving a sort of concoction into his incenser as he starts to then wave it around frantically. And this cloud of bluish sort of powder is going to start, not powder, vapor, is going to start emanating all around him. One block in every direction around him. And let's see. Oh! You get 8 hit points back.
Oh.
Nice.
Yes.
This is the
Mordrus
That's
is
the most
the MVP.
That's the most you could have gotten. You rolled a
Well, I can only go up to 14, so I get 7. But yes, you're the
Poor
best,
bro.
Mordrus.
So as you breathe it in, you can feel like the skin on your neck start to patch itself back together, and you feel it sort of invigorated. And he kind of lets out a sigh of relief. Oh, close one.
Thank you. I love you.
It's not over yet.
Yeah, Kelemvor, what you gonna do?
Oh boy. Well.
Kelemvor,
So
you're within 5 feet of him. You also receive
me.
You
I'm
also
within 10. feet, right?
Of Mordrus.
Of Mordrus?
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant the bad boy.
Yeah.
The guest.
You get 8 hit points.
Oh, well, thanks. I think I'm at full HP, but thank you.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if you were or not. Trusting you to track your own
That's
HP. Anyways.
Good to know. Yes, I'm at 20 HP.
You still feel slightly invigorated by it. You're like, this smells really nice.
Okay, so I'm just checking Hunter's Mark real quick. I'm trying to, okay, the only reference I have outside of just what it says here. Oh yeah, right here. So I Hunter's marked that other dude and I shot him and he died.
Yeah.
So it says if basically I can magically mark a creature within range as my quarry until the spell ends and deal extra damage, whatever. If the target drops to 0 HP before the spell ends, I can take a bonus action to move the mark to a new creature without expending a spell slot. So I'm gonna turn my attention to this thing and sort of just focus my attention on it again and sort of make my little gesture and really focus my attention on this boy because he is my new quarry. He is my new prey.
I will say you're going to need to move. You need to have a line of sight to mark a quarry.
Okay, I'll take one step to my right to make sure I'm not, I don't want to hit Thera with anything I decide to do. So I'm going to sidestep and then I'm going to do this, focus my attention on him. So that is my bonus action, but it doesn't cost anything. And then I'm not close enough to be disadvantaged on a ranged attack, right? So
correct. Yeah.
Okay. So,
normal attack.
Let me see here. I want to check something real quick. Would I know if this strange creature is technically an undead? Because it looks like one to me, but
you'll find out when you shoot, won't you?
Okay. So the other ability that my quiver gives me,
is
an ability called Calming Light, which says once per turn, the first undead stricken by an arrow from the equipped bow must pass a DC 10 Wisdom saving throw or become at peace until my next turn. Ooh. When at peace, the undead will not advance towards an ally and will not attack.
Ooh.
So I am going to, again, draw an arrow from this quiver very quickly and sort of draw it and run it along the palm of my hand. And it starts to glow with sort of a different light. Not like a holy light, but just kind of a very peaceful sort of first rays of sunlight you might see on a spring morning, just a nice...
Oh, listen to you, the poet over here.
That's right. So I sort of just pull this arrow out and run it along my palm as I do, and it starts to glow with this peaceful light. And I'm going to knock it into the bow and release. I'm going to try to hit it with this calming light. So
okay. So first roll for hit.
Yep. Making a bow attack. That is a 16 plus 5, so that's a 21.
That will hit.
Beautiful. Okay. So the damage then on that, I'm assuming I'm still rolling damage, and then the impact will also apply the.
Correct. So do the damage, and then I'll do this the spell save DC.
Okay. So there's a 4 plus 3. That's 7 damage.
Okay. So this your arrow flies, kind of coated in this radiant light. That looks more like solar light than holy light, as you so eloquently put it. He is going to pass his DC, but the arrow itself is going to lodge into him right in the shoulders. It's now this arrow sticking out of it, sort of like steps back, and it sort of regards this energy that it just got hit with, and it kind of shakes its head a little bit to sort of like shake the effects off, and writes itself ravenous. Tongue is just sort of flapping around loosely.
Gross.
I tried.
You did damage.
You
did damage still.
True. That is my action and bonus action. There's no like real way for me to get between him and Thera, right? Like there's no space between them, so I can't occupy that.
Nope.
Okay. I don't think there's anything I can mechanically do to put myself between them. So I think I will move sort of up diagonally up left a square and then another square to the left, so I'm directly north of this thing. I'm going to sort of lock my eyes on it as I'm strafing sideways, more or less trying to sort of get its attention, because I shot it with an arrow. I'm assuming it's going to regard me, and then I'm going to sort of move away from Thera to try to redirect its attention.
Okay. And who said chivalry was dead? Huh?
That's right.
Yeah.
Chivalrous. Rather chivalrous. All right.
Very
So you're going to end your
chivalrous.
turn right there?
Yeah, I think so.
right,
I don't
Carl.
think I could get far enough away for it
Coral,
to
you're
not
up.
still reach me. Yeah.
Cool.
So.
Well, unfortunately, I'm pretty
Stay
far
there.
away too, and I'm assuming I'm too short to hit it from down here, right? Because you said it's a 5-foot drop.
You could hit it as a dwarf. You could with a great axe. You could probably hit it. I'll tell you what. If you were here, I'd give you disadvantage on it. But I'd say, what did I do? All right. If you were here, I'd say I'd give you disadvantage, but you could still hit it.
Okay. I don't know if I want to.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Actually, you could literally get right here. And
I can't see your mouse for some reason.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so I was saying if you got here, disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
But you could go 5, 10, 15. You were here, right? So 5, 10,
Yes.
15, 20, 25, 30 would get you into this space. And you would be within 5 feet for a standard melee.
Oh, why did
attack.
I think that you couldn't move diagonally?
Yep, so diagonal movement counts as one space, right?
Okay.
1 5-foot space.
All right, so yeah, I can move there and I'll swing on it.
All right, do it. Roll for hit for me.
You are still
I
raging,
roll.
correct? Because we didn't.
I am still raging because he joined in the initiative,
Right.
like as
right.
the other one died.
Yes.
I'm assuming.
Correct.
Okay. So I
Bueno.
rolled a 4 plus my 4 is 8.
Not going to hit.
That's not good enough. Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
They take a big swing, sort of steps back. It seems kind of limber for in its rage, which is going to take us up to Thera.
No
Run
doubt
away.
about it. I'm ready to hurt again.
At least you're full health now.
Yes,
It's
I am
true.
grateful for that. What do I want to do to this guy? I need a couple more close counter things. I mean, I can shock and grasp him, but
You sure can.
I mean, if it hits, that would prevent it from taking any reactions as well.
And then you could run away from it. You get some space.
oh yeah,
if you hit
that's
with
true. Okay,
If you
let's
hit,
try
yeah.
that. Let's try
it. Okay.
that.
All right, roll for hit.
I get a +4 to hit. Wait, don't I get advantage? Yes, I do.
Uh-huh.
Right? I still got advantage.
Yep, roll twice.
I do. That is a 14 plus 4, so that's an 18, which is
Just-
pretty good. And that's a 1, so we're going to go with the 14 plus 4.
Gonna take the hit. All right, so that's gonna hit.
Take it.
Go ahead and roll damage.
Yep.
This thing
And that's a
wearing
1d8.
anything by chance?
I got
or is
a
it just like
3.
a corpse?
It
Got
is
a picture.
It is wearing robes and a necklace with like a skull medallion on it.
I got
Okay,
a 3.
but nothing like metal.
So-
No, not really. You said you got 3 for damage?
Uh-huh.
All right, so you reach out, zap the thing, rah, sort of like snarls. Rah. But it's sort of momentarily stunned. Are you going to step away from it now?
Yes. How far away can I get from this thing?
Your movement speed's 30, right? 30 feet? So you could, 5, 10. Well, yeah, 5, 10, 15.
Is it
20.
30? I don't know.
I mean, you
don't
could
know
get
how to learn
you
this.
could get up here. You could get 30. I mean, you could get all the way down here if you wanted. Where do you want to go?
As far away as humanly possible.
Do you want to keep it within your line of sight, though?
Say,
in
do you
case you
still
want
wanna
to do
go-
like range
Yeah.
spells?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So,
Can I go like down the stairs and a
5,
little bit
10,
over towards the
15.
wall?
20. You want to get closer to these piles of bones? 25.
Ow! The way you said that, no.
Maybe just
Okay,
20.
wait. Go back one step. Go back one. So that's 20. Go down
Yeah.
one. That's 25. Now over to the right. That's 30. There.
Okay.
Is
Don't say it like that.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, I know you are.
Okay, that's going to take us to the ghast. It's now in a furious rage. It sees 2 bodies that it regards as food right next to it. It's going to step up into this space, then sort of try to close the gap. And it's going to reach out at the last thing that hurt it, that's close to it, would be Kelemvor. And
I believe so.
it's just going to swipe out with these long claws, just trying to get a nice swipe across your chest. Is going to roll a 19. I'm assuming it's going to hit.
Oh, yeah, that hurts. That hits.
Let's see. Damages.
Don't care for that.
Well, you got lucky because one of these is a not great roll. So you're going to take +3. Okay, so that's going to be then 5 plus 3, 8. 8 points of damage. As this these claws are just going to find purchase and just slash right across your chest, and that's going to end its turn. Oh, first. Shoot, this is 100% on me. Nope, it's I forgot about the stench. A lot of people started their turns next to him, and I forgot about it. That's 100% on me.
There was a breeze.
I plugged my nose.
There was a breeze that sort of carried it away momentarily. But anyways, that is going to take us on over to Kelemvor as it ends its turn. So now what I need you to do is give me a Constitution saving throw, and I need you to beat a 10.
Okay. Oh, that is an 8, but I have a Constitution +2, so that is 10.
Okay, so you managed to sort of like Mr. Steel Gut over here and grew up in the woods. He's eaten many questionable things. He's shrugs it off.
Just sort of tighten my whole core and just try to exhale really heavily.
All right, what you gonna do now that you passed that?
Okay, so this thing is actually Hunter's Mark is a concentration spell. So since it hit me, do I need to roll to maintain that concentration?
You know what? Since I didn't think about that, no. Next time it does, though,
Okay.
yes. But that would be
Okay,
something
I'll
that
take
I
it.
should tell you to do. So I totally forgot about your Hunter's Mark. That's on me.
Hey, I won't complain. Yeah, I'll take that. Okay, so the Hunter's Mark is still applied. I am going to, since I have my bow and my dagger on me at all times. My dagger is sort of just at my waist, and my bow is typically in my hand or over my.
Yep, you can stab
back
without an action. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna, with my, my right hand that would typically draw the arrow. Instead, I'm gonna reach behind me and grab my knife, and I'm gonna pull it out and swing, sort of in one fluid motion, and just try to make a melee attack at this range.
Mm-hmm.
So that is. I have +5 to hit with the dagger. That is a 2 +5 is a 7.
Not gonna hit.
Bruh. Okay.
My sincerest of apologies. Cool.
Play
Mordrus.
the dice rolls, I guess.
I'm assuming you're not gonna move unless you want to take an opportunity.
Yeah, I don't have any of the bonus actions, and I don't think I want to move because I just kind of got slashed pretty good. So, I think I'm gonna stay where I am.
Mordrus is gonna come running up here. And again, you see him sort of like emptying a powder concoction into his incenser, and he gives it a big, shake, and this yellow radiant, glow starts to come out of it. And as it does, the gas kind of turns around, kind of tries to pull away from it and snarls as this radiant incense is sort of filling the air next to it. And dude, I'm killing it on his rolls because I'm hitting. I'm hitting.
Mordrus is the MVP.
I'm hitting max rolls.
Oh, Mordrus. Sorry, I'm reading wrong.
Yeah. It is going to just like its skin is going to crackle and burst into radiant flame momentarily, and it screams out, shrieks in pain, kind of reeling from it.
Mordrus.
Slay King.
Slay. Mm-hmm.
That's my boy.
And he sort of like looks at you guys and kind of gives a nod, like, okay, we're doing this. We're really doing this.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Return the nod.
All right, Carl. You are starting a turn right next to it. The stench,
oh, right, yes. So
stench is filling your nostrils. If you want to give me a Constitution,
I'm lower to the
saving
ground,
throw.
so yeah.
Yeah, you got to beat a 10.
Makes sense.
And that's a D20, right?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Well, I rolled a 16, so we're good there. Okay, cool.
Excellent.
Nice.
And I think you've got, what do you have, like +2 to your Constitution?
+2,
anyways?
yeah.
You're hardy.
Yeah. Again,
It's
you
not,
shake
I
it
smelled
off.
much worse living with the animals at the carts.
That's
Much
right.
worse in my days. All right, so then I'm going to swing on nasty thing, Mr. Gast here, or Mrs. I don't want to assume. Okay, I roll a 13 plus. Hold on, I already clicked off of it. +4, that'll be a 17.
Yep, you're going to hit.
All right, and then I'm going to roll
DiMaggio.
Roll the 10 plus 2, that's 12.
Dang, dude.
Let's go.
As it's
Finally.
reeling, its skin is still sort of singed and crackling from that radiant energy, and your axe is just going to come crashing down into it, just shoulder to hip, slash right through, and it kind of falls to one knee afterwards, as you can see its chest is like it's like gaping open. You know, if this was a living creature, it would probably be dead, but it's just barely hanging on with the undead energy. That sort of empowers this creature, and it manages to just barely get back on its feet, but it is struggling. Thera, you've witnessed all this. What you gonna do?
Fireball.
You're gonna kill everybody. All right.
I was really hoping that I'd get more of a reaction, like whoa, 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 whoa. Nothing. It's kind of disappointing.
I said cast fireball.
I didn't ask how big the room was. Okay, well, I could do a fire. If I throw a fire bolt, will that hurt them?
No, firebolt.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna give you. You got direct line of sight there. There's a gap right between Mordrus and Carl. I think you could thread that needle.
Oh yeah, I don't care if I could throw that needle. I'm giving it a shot.
If you roll in that one of them's getting burned though.
But I get advantage.
Yeah, you do get advantage.
Yeah. Forget about that. All right, here we go. 16 plus 4. So that's a dirty 20.
Okay.
And that's a nat 20.
Ooh, look out.
Okay.
I'll take the nat 20, baby.
Roll damage.
Let's go. I'm rolling good today. So 18.
18.
Let's freaking go.
This fire. As you're sort of feeling inspired by what you just witnessed between your three comrades, kind of laying it all out there. And so you conjure up this firebolt that just whisks through the air. And Mordrus and Carl both feel the heat of it as it passes right between their heads.
Oh, yeah.
And strikes true right in the gap that Carl just cut open, right into this chest cavity. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Explain to me, Thera.
This is a movie cutscene right here.
Explain to me, Thera, how this thing dies.
So the firebolt goes into him where he gashed him.
Right into his chest cavity, just straight in there.
So I think at first this undead, horrible thing just kind of looks down at it just in those split seconds. And then it just literally, the fire just consumes him from the inside out.
Mm-hmm. You can see it like boiling out from the skin.
Yes. Yes.
I love that.
Make it so.
All right. It sort of like looks down, regards itself as the fire is welling up inside of it, kind of eating away what's left as you see fire sort of start to come out the fingertips, the eyes, the mouth, as it sort of shrieks out in pain one last time. And the last thing you see as it's sort of crumbling back down, is the tongue itself engulfed in flames, sort of flapping around as it then sort of comes to a still and is vanquished.
Well,
at this time, the bell is going to come up one last time.
I swear on me, Mom.
This light crackles. The third light over the door crackles to life, and it sort of shakes, vibrates. These wisps of green in the air then sort of come and gather towards that upper platform as the door parts ways and opens, and these green wisps of energy fly through the door and exit the room into the room beyond.
Oh. What's in there?
Blue light.
Blue light.
Blue light.
There it is.
Oh my. That was a ghast underneath my necropolis. And if I'm not mistaken, these look like... He's sort of looking down at the pile of what it was. Remnants of a priestly robe of the Order of Lathander. He's sort of speaking to the corpse itself. What happened to you? There are so many souls in this place, trapped, wandering without a guide. They need a shepherd. Without one, they'll wither away, leaving nothing but undead monstrosities like this, the echoes of people that they once were. Whatever this place is, it is wrong. I'll keep reading Linmar's journal entries as we walk and try to find out more about the purpose of this place. Perhaps it would be best to maybe look around the room before we progress. Maybe check that ghast for anything that could help us understand.
Oh, we're looting that body.
I'd like to have a look at that bell as well, now that it's been activated.
Certainly.
I think those are all good ideas.
We can allow that to happen now.
A few moments of rest, yeah. I think I would like, if I may, to sort of sit on the edge of the raised platform there. And I do have one spell slot left, which I'm a little hesitant to use, but I also did take a nasty splash. So I think I'm just going to sort of flex my hand a little bit as it starts to glow with just a little bit of a blue light, and I'm going to cast Cure Wounds. Just touch my chest where that nasty slash hit.
Yeah, roll
Try to
and
cure
see how much you get.
Heal some of that damage.
Yeah. While he's doing that, Steph, are you checking the body?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, are you gonna loot that body?
Of course I am.
Body now.
What kind of question is that? Looting
Okay.
that body.
Well, so you sort of like bend down and kind of pick through what's left of this charred body, and you had noticed it was wearing a necklace, so you kind of reach down and you grab it, and this is what you find in the Discord.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That looks dope.
It glows with a sickly green light infused with a chat mat. Once per long rest, the caster can reanimate any humanoid corpse.
That's
awesome. I get a pet.
Sentinel prioritizes protecting the caster above all else.
Oh, nice. I'm putting this necklace on.
You're not going to ask if any of the guys want it? You're like, that's fine.
No.
I'm just going to kind of look over my shoulder while I'm casting this healing spell on myself and see her raise this up to the light and just be like, yeah, that looks like something you'd wear.
Yep.
It's looking very new.
Yep. The Sentinel it has a lot of health, but doesn't do a lot of damage. Okay, so there has to be a body around.
Ooh, that's awesome.
You can also pick up only the caster. Oh, if they've been down in combat.
Oh, look at that.
That's dope.
That's helpful. Oh my gosh. I'm naming him Rob.
Rob Zombie. Are you testing it out?
No. So does there have to be a body around, or will it just come out of thin air?
Any humanoid dead body that you can see.
Okay. So I have to. There's some caveats to it. Okay.
Nice.
Got it. Sweet.
There's plenty of dead bodies in this room.
Anything else on him?
No, just the burnt remnants of what looks like a priestly robe of some kind. Mordrus is sort of just kind of taking some notes in his own little notebook as he's inspecting the bell, which isn't. It's still got a little hum to it, but it's not that vibration that was shaking the whole room as it was earlier. It seems like whatever it did, it has been done. Shall we see what's in the next room at least?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, yeah, that's true. I don't know if you guys want to I think you're all at full health at this point, so we probably don't need to rest.
Yeah.
Does this guy's body, the ghast, count as a humanoid?
It sure does.
I need one of you boys to carry him.
What?
What? That's not going to happen.
I need him
He
in
smells
combat.
terrible. I'm not
carrying that thing.
Well, he will stay until dismissed. Like you could, if you wanted to resurrect him now. You could. No one has to carry him, but I mean, if you want them to.
It's kind of fun to make them carry him.
Don't reanimate that thing. I don't want to smell it.
Will the smell come back?
I think you burned the stench off of it.
Yeah, I would think so.
You sanitized it.
That's right.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I'm going to animate this guy.
Okay, so you sort of innately understand as you touch the amulet that you're sort of activating its power, and you can feel it sort of kind of like asking you, what is it you want me to do? As you feel that, you look at the body and you kind of will it to reanimate, and this green energy comes out of the amulet as the body then sort of pieces itself back together, and it stands up, and it looks kind of like the gas, but then this green energy imbues it as it starts to sort of contort a little bit. It fills out. It's not as scrawny. It becomes kind of sturdier, stouter. It's not as tall. It's a little bit broader, and sort of pieces itself back together in a way that would make it a good defender. And it then once it's righted itself, it just steps up next to Thera and just 1,000-yard stare. It doesn't seem to have any personality or anything, but it's just
nobody's home.
Yeah, it's just there, and it's sort of there to defend and protect.
Everyone meet Rob.
He protects.
Rob meet everyone.
He protect. He attack.
And I'm just gonna look at him and turn around and look into the door that we opened. They slashed me open. I'm not happy about it, but it's fine. It's fine.
That was a different time for him.
He was going through a lot.
Give him a chance.
Well, now I'm going through a lot.
So that will stay there until dismissed, or it dies in combat.
Okay.
Okay. And
Good to know.
and I will do everything for it. You don't need to worry
Okay.
about it.
Cool. Yay. This is fun.
At this point, if it's all right with all y'all, I would like to just approach the open doorway and just kind of take a peek inside and see if I can see anything from the doorway before we all
one of those torches
push in.
there
You're so
before you go in.
cautious. Oh my goodness.
The
Throw a
next,
torch in there before you go in.
well, the following room
I can't see anything.
is well lit. You can
Well,
see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you guys. This was a huge door. So this adjoining room, you guys now you can see in very clearly. This room is about, I think, like 60 feet deep, but it's not very wide. Okay. And at the far end of the room, you see another door, but it's more ornate. It's sort of from a distance you can't really make out, but what it has on it. But it has like some sort of a depiction on it. But the room itself is otherwise more or less empty, except for this low circular table that's in the middle of the room. But the room itself is really peculiar because it's split right down the middle. The left half of the room is black marble. The right half of the room is this white marble. So there's this stark contrast between the two halves of the room. That's from floor to ceiling, not just wall to wall, floor to ceiling. The floor split, ceiling split, walls. So very peculiar.
Sorry, you say the front half towards us is black marble, or
The left half.
The left,
So,
okay.
So as you're looking into this room, the left half black, right half white. There's a clear line right down the center of the floor, dividing the two colors, floor to ceiling.
Interesting. Mordrus, what do you make of this? I'm assuming this has got something to do with Lathander and Kelemvor, if I'm sort of reading this dichotomy correctly.
If it's all right with you, I'd like to take a couple steps in.
Please, yeah, I'll go with you. Let's just step in and stay close.
And he sort of starts to slowly meander into the room, kind of taking it all in, looking around. This room is simply remarkable. It seems obvious that it's meant to evoke strong imagery of Kelemvor and Lathander meeting. Half black marble, half white marble. And what's this on this table here? Sort of steps up, and that low table that's sitting in the middle of the room. There are some sort of discs here. There's something unnatural about the energy they're giving off. He starts to sort of kind of use his hands to sort of feel the discs that are on the table. Let me see if there's anything in the journal about this place. So,
Good idea.
as you're stepping into this room, this is... Now, are all of you stepping in, following him?
Yeah, no, I would follow him.
I'm going with him for sure.
Come on, Rob.
All right. So in the Discord here, you see the discs that are on the table. There's 7 of them.
Ooh.
Sort of these bronze discs depicting different things. And then there's the door. Now that you're closer, you're in the room. The door on the far end, it's very ornate, and it depicts a like a bridge. And there are 7 sort of sockets about the same size and shape of these discs that are on the table.
A puzzle, eh?
I don't like puzzles. Oh, this is you, Kelemvor.
Wait. I think I found something.
Yeah.
There are several pages here with sketches of this very room. In this passage here, Linmar talks about an event where someone named Ileana locked herself in this room with, if I'm reading this correctly, with her coven members. And using some power unknown to Linmar, they were able to seal away fragments of deific virtues in bronze discs. He said he was baffled as to how they could accomplish such a feat, but when they opened the door to the room, the coven had already left, leaving only Ileana and the discs behind. Apparently the goal was to rebuild the cosmic bridge between the two deities and recreate their previous meeting on a smaller scale. But to what end? What was the purpose? If Kelemvor and Lathander ended their meeting so quickly, they must have had a good reason. I can't imagine any residual deific energy from their encounter would bring about anything good. Linmar goes on here. Yes. He recounts how the two deities built the bridge across the cosmos to one another. but the following page has been ripped out. I'm assuming they didn't want to leave behind a written manual on how to open this door. But we could maybe piece it together from the story of how the gods did it to begin with. But I have to ask, before I read this story of their meeting out loud, are we sure we want to do this? Do we really want to rebuild that bridge and potentially reawaken this residual power? I mean, I don't even know what we've just done with this spell. Not only would it be dangerous, but we simply don't know enough to say definitively if we might be causing more harm by doing so.
You know, I love a good chaotic encounter, but he might not be wrong.
Yeah, I was thinking if he's hesitant, that makes me hesitant.
Yeah, we've sort of just been...
Where would we learn, though? Is there somewhere we can learn this information?
I mean, this journal is about the only source of information about this place that we do have. The place has been otherwise pretty well gutted so far. The only... It's difficult, but I think I know what I must do. We've already encountered, hundreds of dead on our journeys, and I have a strong feeling that many more dead lie ahead. These are likely my final days as a priest of Kelemvor. I'd like to do as much good as I can before I'm released of my charge. I think I need to see this through to the end and then perform the proper rites over every single lost soul in this place as my first act of penance for my gross and incompetent negligence in allowing this place to exist right under my nose for so long. And perhaps we'll also get to the end of this in time to save the souls of the children taken from their resting places. I'd hate for them to be lost. And perhaps I'll even learn more about Kelemvor in the process.
I respect that commitment to your beliefs. And frankly, we have come this far, but I think you're right to be cautious. Does the journal say anything else about the actual meeting and the events of the meeting? Do we have any idea what might happen if we were to open this door?
Well, there's an excerpt here where he dictates how the gods branched out and encountered one another to begin with. And there's plenty here, but it is an old language. It takes me a moment to understand everything. I'm sure there's plenty more in here. Should I recount the information about their meeting?
Yeah.
Whatever details you find most pertinent.
This excerpt here seems to be the most detailed account. Linmar writes this about the cosmic bridge. He says, the two gods, in their desire to know one another, stretched out to each other across the cosmos, extending core deific virtues of their very selves out to try to bridge the gap between the two of them. Kelemvor reached out first with his empathy. Word is underlined. One of his foundational virtues, which allows him to step into the pain of the living and bear it alongside them. Lathander, in response, stretched out with his determination. Again, underlined. That's a foundational virtue of Lathander, which allows him to push through the darkness in order to bring about the light. But the gap between them was still great, and so they pushed again. Kelemvor reached out next with remembrance. That's another foundational virtue, which allows him to remember every deceased soul and ponder on the life that preceded their death. And Lathander stretched out with his ambition. That's another foundational virtue, which allows him to look to the highest and loftiest goals and overlook the valleys between them. And then the two deities collided, their meeting shaking the very foundations of the material plane. In that moment, they intermingled and knew each other in a way they never had before, but they quickly saw the foolishness of their encounter and witnessed the destructive power that they had birthed. And so they retreated from one another, bearing a mix of both shame and intrigue from the knowledge they gained. That's the end of that excerpt. Perhaps we can piece together how to rebuild that bridge from this narrative.
Well, it certainly sounded like some of that visual imagery, or the, I guess, written imagery, corresponds to some of these plates, these discs.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, are the important details empathy, determination, remembrance, ambition. The collision and the destruction that ensued followed by shame, and finally intrigue. Certainly some of these discs, I think we could say appear to be connected. Like this one here. The man holding the woman in his arms. Empathy, perhaps. This one here, with the man climbing the mountain with his fist. Possibly ambition or determination. It's difficult to piece each one with one of these narrative points, but the swirly one, I'm assuming, is the collision, the destruction.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
What about
See,
this
I
man with
told
the
you.
crown by the tombstone?
You're the puzzle guy.
Then it's the guy with -1 intelligence.
Well, so, Mordrus, I'm hesitant to insert any of these discs into the door until we have an idea of how we think this might play. The door, you notice the door? There's these
Yes.
sockets, these indentations. I think these discs fit into the door. And I think if we can piece them together in the correct order, that may be the key to unlocking.
I think you're right. These discs, they certainly do, well, according to Linmar's journal, they are imbued with deific forces, the core virtues.
What do you think what would you think may happen, if you had to guess, if these were to be inserted in the incorrect sequence?
Well, I don't rightly know. It could be nothing. Perhaps whatever's supposed to happen simply wouldn't happen. But then on the other hand, maybe if they're inserted in the incorrect order, we awaken deific forces in the improper balance and there could be a cataclysmic event. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's not a lot.
I love the sound of that.
Not a huge
Not gonna
deal,
lie.
right? How bad could that be?
Are there any other details in this room? Are the walls just blank marble? There's no
just completely smooth stone marble walls up to the door.
I'd like to pick up one of the discs and just sort of turn it over in my hands and inspect it.
The back, the back side is just completely flat. It kind of feels, it's heavy, and it feels like it's kind of like a bronze metal material. But you can also feel in your hands that it's giving off some sort of residual energy that it's keeping something confined inside, but you're still feeling like the vibration from within it.
Would you say it's good vibrations?
Good vibration.
Well, I think if we're going to proceed, we'll have to try something.
The core virtues, the foundational virtues, rather, that were laid out in the text there, I believe were empathy and remembrance are two of the foundational virtues of Kelemvor. And then we
Remembrance has got to be the grave one, right?
I would imagine, because it did mention the dead specifically.
And then we had ambition and determination for Lathander.
Well,
ambition could be the crown. And
I also see it as the guy on the mountain.
Well, that's like
reaching like the highest.
That's like determination, though, right?
I could also see determination being the guy being held back by people behind him, and he's pushing forward anyway.
Well, you're a dwarf, and I'm an elf, so
I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So, if we start just at the beginning with these two figures, we have one wearing a crown and a necklace with a large skull. I'm assuming that's Kelemvor, but also we have one with a crown sitting next to a tombstone, so that is I could see it going either way.
Kelemvor is often depicted as wearing a crown of bones.
That is a crown of bones there next to this tombstone, so perhaps that appears to be the visage of Kelemvor. How is Lathander? Yes.
Yeah, Lathander, as far as I know, is typically depicted as a young man, a handsome young man with a radiant crown of the sunrise.
Okay, well, I figured out which one that was.
Yeah, okay.
Which would make sense with this one here, yes.
I'm guessing the man sort of hugging the woman with his arms around her shoulders, because she looks like she's distraught. She looks like she's potentially crying. and he's sort of holding her. I'm guessing that maybe empathy, which is the first one we noted, the first virtue noted in the book. So I'm going to take a stab and say that that's the first one. Can I pick that up and just walk over to the door and just sort of hold it up? Not put it in the slot, but just sort of hold it up and kind of measure it. And
yeah, as you approach the door, it seems pretty clear these are all the exact same sort of dimensions, so it could easily slide into any one of these slots.
Sure. I'm gonna look back at the others and take a breath and just slot it in.
Okay. The far
Wow,
left.
Look at you being ambitious. Normally, you're stopping us, but
Okay. So, as you you shove it into that far left circular slot there. As soon as you do, you feel like this intense pressure that pushes back on you, and there's sort of a crack, and you kind of thrown backwards with the disc still in your hand as it is rejected, and you take 4 points of damage.
Ow!
Uh-oh.
As you come
I hit the floor
sliding
this time.
across the floor.
Well, that wasn't right.
That's not great.
Gods, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just didn't expect to be thrown by a door. Oh,
That was incredible. How did it feel? You were off the ground for a couple seconds.
Well, when I inserted the rune into the door, I felt immense pressure as if the door was pushing back. And then the next thing, I was on the floor.
Curious. I do think you are correct about this disc being empathy. But I wonder if perhaps it's not necessarily the starting point. We have... Maybe we think about this as... in terms of the story, as two creatures reaching out to one another.
Right.
To build this bridge, empathy is the first thing that Kelemvor stretches out with. But maybe we identify the discs that we don't know yet and see where they might have... I don't know. Clearly, I think empathy is the first thing that he does reach out with in the story, but is that the
so maybe the far left and the far right maybe are Kelemvor and Lathander.
That's what I was thinking.
Because that's where... Because they're the two...
Right.
The two, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And we know which those two are. So...
Sure.
Big brain.
Carl, why don't you take one?
I can't reach him too short. I can't reach him too short. Playing the short card.
You're playing the short... fine.
You're playing the short card.
Look how hard that is.
Okay, so I would like to pick up the Kelemvor, and what I believe to be the one with the gravestone and the book Crown of Bones, which I believe to be Kelemvor, and the young man with the glowing crown. I'd like to... Yep.
Are you picking up the one with the guy sitting at the gravestones, or the one with the skull around his neck?
That's a good distinction, isn't it? Because they could both be depictions of Kelemvor. I guess they both look like crowns of bones, don't they? Probably the one that's just depicting the one without the gravestone. The one just depicting the man with the crown of bones.
Okay,
and then
so
the one directly beneath.
The one with the green background?
Yes, correct.
And then the one directly under it? Those are the two you're grabbing?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd like to pick those two up, and also the swirly one.
Okay.
Which I believe to be the middle, because I feel like that's got to be the collision, right? The intermingling, the intersection. That one has to be the middle, and I feel. So I'm going to pick up all three and stride back to the door, but I'm going to take off the top, the swirly one. I don't know if I should put that in first, though.
What I might wait on that one.
Okay, that maybe
I think you are correct, but I think maybe perhaps that, since that's the final part of the story, maybe we end with that.
I'm just gonna sort of stick that in my pocket for now, and then
you have large pockets.
I've got a bag. I'll slot it.
You have no idea.
So then I would like to again take the Kelemvor and try to slot it in the same far left, the one that I tried before.
The green background one?
Yes.
All right. So with a little hesitation, you kind of close your eyes and brace yourself as you stretch forward and shove it into the circle. And as you do, you feel it sort of pull away from you and lock into place.
Oh, nice.
As something behind the door sort of activates. And
Okay, all right.
and the circle sort of tightens around it and locks it in. You can't even pull it out.
I turn back to the others. Well, that appears to have worked. So I'll take the other then, which I believe to be Lathander, and I'll move over to the far right of the door and try to do the same thing.
Okay. So again, that far right one, you take this bronze disc depicting this handsome young man with a crown of radiant light. Again, brace yourself tentatively as you shove it in, and again, same thing happens. It gets yanked in, locked into place as the door again, like something mechanical is locking into place behind it.
Nice job.
Remarkable.
Well, I think we've taken the first steps correctly this time. Like, walk back to the table. So I still have the swirly one in my, my pocket or my bag or wherever. I've got it on my person. But looking at the remaining 4, so we had Kelemvor reaching out with empathy first, and then we had Lathander reaching out with determination. Do we think that those are the first of the discs or the second round of the discs?
I think we should maybe go in order, right? Like, first empathy on the side with Kelemvor.
If we think empathy is a different disc, because there's only 7, right? So we have 2 of them slotted.
I mean, obviously the spiral one is the last question.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
But we have 7 total. There were 7 virtues: empathy, determination, remembrance, ambition.
It says Kelemvor reached out first with his empathy.
And that's the first one I slotted in. Do we think that's empathy, or do we think that's just...
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I feel like
I must be kidding myself.
What other one would be empathy?
Right. I think that's...
Maybe the one with the people behind him is what was the other? Ambition. I don't know.
Well,
but
if we go
how's determination?
by the specific order in the book, presumably we've done empathy and determination. Those were Kelemvor and Lathander, so we can cross them off. So the third one was remembering, which is... Yeah.
Maybe I'm getting myself confused.
Never
mind. Keep going. Sorry. Disregard. Cut.
Well, assuming the first 2 are empathy and determination, and the first 2 were correct, that would put us on the third one, which the third virtue mentioned was remembrance, which was also referencing Kelemvor. What do we think? Do we think the one with Kelemvor sitting by a grave signifies remembrance?
Seems like it, right?
That would make the most sense to me.
Yeah.
What do you think, Mordrus? Do you have an opinion on this?
I do. If you're asking, I feel like what we've successfully slotted so far are simply the starting points. I think we just have Kelemvor on one end, we have Lathander on the other. I don't think we've slotted any virtues yet. More that we just slotted the starting points, the 2 entities that are trying to bridge the gap to one another.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, that makes sense.
When were you saying
in
that?
Case,
you weren't saying that.
That's what I said. So never mind.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, Carl. So do we think the next one?
You need to be more assertive, Carl.
Right?
With the man
jeez.
embracing the
Nobody heard me
woman.
from all the way down here.
Speak up, you're too short. Do we think empathy is the man embracing the woman? I'm going to pick that one up and just kind of gesture towards
of course,
the both of
I
you.
do.
I think we can agree on that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess this is on me again. I'm going to turn back towards the door.
Do your best, sweetie.
Stride back to the door and insert that on the second slot from the left.
The top right medallion or disc in this picture?
Yeah, with the man embracing the
woman. Which is going in the second from the left slot, is that what you said?
Yes, next to Kelemvor. That's where I put Kelemvor originally.
Okay. Wait. Which one's the guy with the crown of bones?
Kelemvor.
Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, disregard. Okay,
you stretch forward again, tentatively bracing for impact. Again, it gets sucked in, locks into place.
I think we're onto something.
Remarkable. Excellent. That seems to be empathy in the correct position. What's next?
The next one listed in the journal was determination, correct? So I feel like between the man on the mountain and the man being held back by the crowd, I think the man on the mountain is more likely to be ambition. What do you think? And the man maybe being held back by the crowd maybe is determination?
That would be my
Oh, yeah.
best as well.
Okay. All right. You've convinced me.
Okay, I'll pick up the disc with the man being held back by the crowd of people, stride over to the door again, and then attempt to insert it in the slot second from the right next to Lathander.
Okay. So you grab this disc with the man fighting forward as the others try to hold him back. And you stretch forward, push it into the circle. It gets sucked in,
Nice.
locked into place.
Ooh. Deep breath. Okay, well, I think it's getting easier as we go. Obviously, we're eliminating these options. Mordrus, you said remembrance was the third virtue you mentioned. Is that correct?
Yes, the final thing, according to this story here, that Kelemvor stretched out with was his remembrance, honoring and remembering the lives of the deceased.
My
got
assumption
this.
is it must be Kelemvor sitting next to the grave.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick up that one. Sort of again gesture to the both of you, and in assuming you're in agreement.
I'm in agreement.
I'm going to turn back towards the door, stride back towards the door, and the third slot from the left on Kelemvor's side, attempt to slot that in.
Locks in.
Yes. Okay. Then in that case, the next virtue mentioned was ambition, I believe. Which I mean, it's got to be the man on the mountain. Between that and the swirly one, those are the only two that are left.
Yeah, no, that makes sense because the swirly one is them like colliding
and intermingling. Yeah. So
yeah,
doing it.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up the
knowing each other
one.
biblically is kind of the vibe I'm getting here.
Yes.
I will never forget. Side note: I took Hebrew in college.
Oh,
right?
here we go.
And we'd have like vocabulary tests, right? And we'd always have to, like for me to remember things, I always have to come up with clever ways to remember them, like in mnemonic devices and whatnot. So the word to lay with someone biblically was yada. And that, so the definition was to know someone biblically. So I always remembered it by saying in my head, yada. Oh, I know yadater biblically.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I always.
My.
So to this day, that's one of the very few Hebrew words I still remember is yada. Never forgot it. Anyways, so you're putting man on the mountain.
Man on the mountain.
Third from the right.
On left-hander side.
Okay. Locks into place. The door starts to hum a little bit.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna turn back to the rest and pull the swirly one out of my pocket or bag wherever I had it, and
Not really sure where that came from, but I'll allow it.
don't worry about it. Well, I guess. Are we sure? Are we ready for this? Are we sure we want to do this?
I'm ready.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm going to then pointedly look, after they both respond, pointedly look at Mordrus and make eye contact with him. I want his opinion on this, because this is his domain.
He's going to take a deep breath and nod his head.
Okay. I'll return the nod and turn back to the door.
What you should have done.
After a slight
15
pause,
minutes
I'm going to
ago.
just plot that swirly disc right into the center.
All right. It gets sucked in, and the door itself starts to glow this sickly, like that necrotic kind of a green color. There's like an audible hum to it as well, and each of the discs then just bursts into light. The far left one, the far right one, second from the left, second from the right, third from the left, third from the right, center one. The door activates and it groans to life and opens away from you inward. And as it does, you hear this raging sound behind you, and you turn around shocked. Like it almost like in our perspective, it'd be like the sound of a train coming up behind you, right?
Oh boy!
You turn around and you see like a sea, like a torrent of ghostly faces. just streaming
boy.
towards you, and like there's all of them just screaming as they come flying past you, through you. You feel them all around you as they kind of cascade like you're in a stream of dead faces that come flying through you,
What
past you.
have you
and
done?
down the hallway,
believe
through
you've
the
done this.
door,
What have we done?
through the door that you just opened, and into the beyond.
Oh.
Gods, what was that?
You tell me.
I think those were the souls of the dead here, rushing past us to what's beyond.
All of them?
I
Like-
don't know.
That was a lot of.
This really, Mordrus, is quite a
Spirits?
remarkable last day on your job.
I think
Gotta hand it to you.
I'm burning out bright. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Look,
Can
well,
we follow?
so you
Can I just look down at myself, sort of pat myself down? I'm okay, right?
there's no
I
like
think I'm okay.
none got stuck to you. More just points down like he's pointing down at Thera.
Ah!
She's like shaking a soul off of her foot that then kind of goes streaming down late behind everything else.
We've all been there. I get it. I'm
Right.
gorgeous. Like,
It
you
happens,
blame
yeah.
them. Yeah, it happens.
Before you, through the door that you just opened, is this long hallway stretching out in front of you, maybe some 50 yards. And you can see this, there's no door, but a doorway be at the end of it. That's sort of, you can't see into the space beyond it, but it looks like it opens up into a pretty large chamber down there.
Well, we've come this far. Shall we see
Yeah.
what lies at the end of this road?
I want to see why
Oh.
they're all like,
Perhaps my only reservation.
oh, don't be a buzzkill,
Please,
man.
please tell me your
Is-
reservation.
I am not certain that if we run into trouble down there, how much more useful I'm going to be, considering the spells I've already cast recently.
Mm.
And do we need a rest before we proceed, or is he just saying?
It depends on what we find there. If there's more of what we've already faced, or even worse, you would have to do most of the heavy lifting, unless I were able to rest up.
I think taking a rest is probably a good idea. Can I turn back to the open door, just kind of like listen? I just want to, do I hear anything beyond this door? I see just a long hallway and potentially a large open chamber beyond, but what else can I perceive? Is there any sounds or any smells?
The only sound you can pick up is that sound of that like freight train behind you. Is it sounds like it's gotten a lot softer. It's far away, but it's still there.
It seems like a swarm of spirits. They're rushing towards something. But this isn't my area of expertise. I don't know if that's like something that is something we'd be pressed for time on figuring out. You know what I mean? I mean, it sounds like Mordrus needs to rest. I certainly could rest. I've used my spell slots. I don't know how the rest of y'all are doing.
I'm out of
Again, that's in the
rages.
game. But like, I think resting would be a good idea.
If
Could
we're
we just like
if we're
yeah.
worried about losing the progress we've made thus far, perhaps we could open our packs and just kind of take shifts, and we could sleep actually in this hallway here, just in case the door does start to close. Whoever's on watch could wake the others up.
certainly?
That's a good idea.
You're
Will Rob's body still be here? I need to reanimate him.
You'd have to reanimate something. His
Yeah,
body.
Well, will he still?
The body won't. You can't recycle the same body.
Rob, no, I'll never forget you.
As you're saying this, he just sort of deadpan just looks at you.
well. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, our friend Mordrus here really is the resident expert, and if he needs a rest, I think it's smart to rest.
I agree.
More so addressing the two of you. Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. I would like to cast the cantrip Druidcraft and essentially snap my fingers and light a small campfire of just
How
do that?
about
whatever dry bits of whatever I
That's
can
right.
find.
You did get
scraps of
that.
cloth.
That's right. I
I
did.
forgot.
That's
You
cool.
know, I've got sprigs in my pack, I'll just sort of sit down, put some things together, and just kind of snap a little campfire together. And
all right, so you step into that hallway just beyond the door and set up your your sleeping bedrolls and get that fire going and start to take your shifts and take a long rest. Yes.
Sounds good to me.
Yes.
it's probably a good
Alright.
idea.
I think that would be a fantastic place to take a breaky break. But before we do,
Oh,
as you are taking your rotations and
oh
sleeping,
boy. Here we go. Here we
Hmm.
go. Rob gets handsy. Rob?
Thera,
Smart
Been
thinking
through
about your
this.
mentality.
He
Uh-oh.
collapsed, right?
Thera, oh no. Am I going to have another
Is it
dream?
a dream?
No!
Oh, is it a dream? Tell me it's a dream.
you feel yourself getting suddenly sucked into this vision.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Again, you are sort of in this same space you were in last time with that black pool. This time, the woman that you saw before
Mm-hmm.
is you're sort of standing on the shore just off of this pool, this puddle, right? Big pool. And she is half in, half out of this
Oh,
black
boy.
Icarus thing. So half of her is sort of laying on the dry ground and she's breathing heavily, clearly just exhausted. And you look and Thera, you get the impression that the pool itself is also tired. It's like swelling and receding, as if the pool itself is breathing deeply as well.
Weird.
But your sort of scope of vision this time, you notice, is a little bit wider. And so now you can
Okay.
see around this black pool are this a ring of torches all around the pool. And they're all of them are lit, they're burning brightly. But because of the light they're giving off, just outside the ring of torches, opposite of the pool from you, is a semicircle of dark hooded figures standing and watching the pool and the woman in the pool. But they're perfectly still. They're just witnessing what's happening, but they're not intervening in any capacity. And as you're taking this in, the woman who's half in, half out, laying on the dry ground there, between her ragged breasts, she looks up and she regards you, and she manages with a raspy voice. It's sort of a half whisper, just a "help me." And as she says this, suddenly all the figures on the opposite side are alerted to your presence.
Oh no.
They-
What have you done?
They tip their heads up and they look directly at you. But before they can do anything, this woman, golden hair, piercing green eyes, stretches out her hand as if to shove you, even though she's not close enough to make physical contact. And as she does, you feel a force in your chest, and you sit up, awake.
Bruh. Are any of the
Well,
rest of us
dang.
awake to
So
see
at this
her?
point, Kelemvor, you are on watch duty. So you just notice her sit up out of her trance. Sort of
Bolt, right?
yeah, just suddenly sit up and kind of collect, taking in her surroundings. Like, where am I? Am I good? Am I safe? But as far as you know, you have not, Kelemvor has not heard of
Yeah, we don't
her
know
dreams.
this.
Right.
Yeah, you don't know the story because I didn't
Right.
tell you last time.
If I just see her, you just like bolt upright out of her trance. I mean, I'm half elf, and I also more meditate than sleep. I feel like I would know that this is not common. Like that's not usual. That's not a way that an elf would typically be awoken from a slumber, quote unquote. I would like to just kind of take a few steps over and just crouch and just quietly, Thera, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Why?
You sure?
Yeah,
You seem startled, is all.
I think it was just the battle today. I mean, just having that hand thing fling at me. I think it's just messing with my sleep. Is all. I'm fine. Just a quick bad vision of Handy Guy and Rob pre-conversion. So I'm good. Do you want me to take over the night watch? Seems like I've gotten the rest I needed.
Before I respond, may I roll an insight check to see if I can tell whether or not she's lying to me?
Yes, you may.
Oh,
Okay. I would like to roll.
you
That
son of a
is
bitch.
a 17 plus 4, that's a 21.
That's gonna work.
Let's go.
So I can tell.
You
Yeah, go
are
ahead.
getting, you get a very distinct impression that she's not being truthful with you.
Okay, I'm just gonna log that away. I'm just gonna log that away, and I'm gonna nod, and then I'm gonna just say, "Sure." If you're sure you're rested,
Yeah,
I'll take it.
I'm fine. Yeah, I mean, it was just that creepy hand thing jumping on me. I think it was just too much. I mean, we've seen a lot today, so
Sure.
but seems like
Okay.
I'm good. I feel rested. Should be fine.
Okay.
Okay. I'll just nod, and I'll head over to my little bedroll.
The question is, are you gonna tell Carl about your insight
We
check?
shall see.
So the rest of the night passes as you take your turns resting and watching. Carl finds himself just a little bit uneasy, knowing that they are passing an evening away from the orphanage. And he's hoping to himself the kids are okay.
I was thinking about that, actually. It's funny that you mentioned that.
I almost
knew.
went with that as my lie.
We
Like,
spent a
I'm
lot
just
of time
worried about
down
the
here.
kids.
All right. And with that, we conclude this session. Thank you so much, players.
Oh, yes.
Hopefully you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a
that's
fun
so
one.
good.
Yes.
Very nice. Well done. Well played, everyone.
Clap, clap, golf clap. Golf clap
Wait,
there.
Wait,
Indeed.
wait.
Here comes.
There it is.
Yes.
Hey.